And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Macinda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. I was doing it right. I don't know why. I stopped in the middle there to think about it for a second. You wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't said anything. Keegan would have and would have made fun of me mercilessly later. We are in part 2 of our 2-part exploration of the new Justicar RPG, which is going to be launching on Kickstarter.
Yes.
In 10 days? 9 days? How many sleeps?
7, 14, 15, 16 days.
16 days. 15 sleeps.
Launches on March 29th.
There we go. And
eventually
we had an absolute blast setting up our I was going to call it a murder board.
Crime board.
I've been watching
Murder board.
I've been watching a lot of Castle lately because I'm a Nathan Fillion completionist.
Someone in a playtest just called it the Pepe Sylvia. So
the Pepe Sylvia is a good name for what this is. Lots of Pepe Sylvia memes here. We got a lot going on. But first and foremost, let's hear from the creator themselves. Nevyn, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where folks can find you online. Tell us a little bit about Justicar.
Hey, hello. My name is Nevyn. I use they, he pronouns. I am a queer tabletop role-playing game designer based out of Central Texas. You may know me from Gun and Slinger or Kitchen Nightmares, and you are about to know me from Justicar, which is this. Justicar is a tabletop role-playing game for 4 players about courtroom mystery, drama, intrigue, and shenanigans. It's inspired by things like Phoenix Wright, My Cousin Vinny, Legally Blonde, you know, your good old-fashioned courtroom drama gonzo stuff. Earlier in the day, we made our crime web, or our Pepe Sylvia. And today, or now that we are back at it, we are actually going to be playing through the trial proceedings. We're going to be role-playing as our characters and figuring out the truth to the whole thing. And that's the goal here.
Awesome.
Justicar will be crowdfunding on Kickstarter starting March 29th. You can find it at bytes.rip/Justicar, which is all the way over in that corner.
Oh, dang it. I did not put us in the right... Oh, wait, no, I don't have to worry about the right spots. I had our names on this originally until a player dropped, and then we got lucky enough to add Sarah. And so I have the non-named one. And I was like, oh, crap, we're all in different places. It doesn't matter, though.
We say lucky enough to add Sarah. What really happened is till I dragged Sarah.
Forced Sarah.
That's all right. We had the doors wide open for you to drag Sarah in. And so
yeah, that's fair.
True.
That's fair. Kicking and screaming.
So I am super excited to play. Do we want to review our setup for the audience who may not have been lucky enough to participate in the first half of this?
I feel like that's probably a good idea. And I would like to be approachable.
I'd like to think that I can carry a conversation with another person.
Nevyn, why don't you tell us a little bit about our palette that we established and how we did that?
Yeah, so the palette in Justicar is basically something that's collaboratively created to make sure everyone understands the touchstones that's going to be used during play. And this is really what sets like the baseline tone for your game. It can be things as mundane, and I mean that in the literal sense, as like, oh, it's a modern courtroom drama, or as zany as what we have here today, which is, you know, the touchstones that we established were amphibious, space, brickwork, and light Grey's Anatomy, but courtrooms. So those things together are what helped us shape the wider crime web that we have, which we're going to go over very shortly.
Awesome. Keegan, why don't you catch us up on the actual crime that has been committed?
Oh yeah, the crime that's been committed. Salamanders, generally speaking, have been kidnapped.
And do you want to introduce us to the defendants and the victims in this scenario?
I will.
Please do.
Cool.
I
Our
will.
defendant here is Dr. Doc McScaly. You don't know anything about him yet. But then our 3 people on the stand. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did you say stand and defendant?
Just victim. Defendant and
Okay, cool.
victim.
My bad. And then our victim is salamanders, generally speaking, as well as Selena Amphibio.
Awesome. And Selena is an aspiring ingenue, correct? An actress.
Yes, she's an actress.
And in this world, are salamanders just like normal salamanders walking around, or is there anything distinctive about them that our audience should know?
They are normal-sized salamanders that have uplifted humanity secretly from the shadows for years, presumably.
Awesome. Why don't we meet some of the different individuals we're going to see in the courtroom? Let's start with our different witnesses. Sarah, do you want to tell us a little bit about some of the people you're going to be playing?
Yeah, so I'm taking the role of the stand, which means I will be playing 3 different witnesses. First of which we have Fran Butcher. She is an exotic pet salesman with expertise in amphibious assault. Then we have Guy Human Dude, and they are really into pompadours and lizard tails and leading rebellions, also swords. So that's pretty neat. And we have Roberto Micalico, and he's just a big old slab of beef that does taxes and spends his time being a human.
Awesome. And then let's meet the prosecution and the defense. Let's start with the defense. Nevyn, you want to introduce us to the defense as we pan across the courtroom?
Yes, absolutely. The defense is Trent McDowell, a little confused and very tired. He's completely disheveled, and he's an expertise in VHS security systems. And his secret key is that he used to be Selena's agent.
Can't wait to see if that comes up. Let's meet the prosecution.
Keegan,
Yeah.
what'd you put here? What's this? What's this? What's this
I was
here?
like, wow, it's wild. Nevyn hasn't seen that yet. It's so big.
Did you see it as it went across the screen for the first time, or when you were?
I'm
looking
sitting
at
here.
all
I'm
the
sitting
view-
here looking at it.
I missed it too.
I was like, I wonder what I can get away with just adding to the board.
Literally anything.
Truly. Anyway, I'm the prosecution. I'm playing Cleta Cool. She is a celebrity bird law expert whose secret is she has gone up against Selena, her client, for multiple acting roles.
did I never add a key on mine? Apparently not. Or do I not
You
have a key?
didn't.
I have tilts, or do I have both?
You have tilt.
You have both.
I have both.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you had a key.
Dang. So I am playing.
Pretty sure.
I am playing Judge Jurian Executioner. And my style, and it's really funny. I was reading the styles in the book for the judge, and it's like letter of the law, not in my courtroom. Mine is 90s cool kid, as I believe suggested by Jam in chat. My job is I'm a judge. My expertise. Look, I'm the station's foremost expert in zingobiology. Everybody else is saying xenobiology, and I think it's the same thing. And it's become very confusion. Chad, if you're watching right now, toss out a cool key, secret or otherwise, for the judge to have. We'll see what comes out. We'll maybe ask for that later on too, as we go. But this is our web of connections. And let's finalize that by looking at some of the questions we want to answer in this. What made this school trip so memorable? Why was a Selena lookalike event being hosted? What was Selena's worst movie? And what lured the raccoons, plural, to the city? Those are some of the questions we'll be seeking to answer today in the courtroom of Judge Jurian Executioner.
Bum, 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 bum. Nevyn, it wouldn't let me load the sound into the soundboard.
Oh,
so-
that's unfortunate.
I like this way better. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest.
All right. With that said, that's our setup. That's what we did. We spent an hour and a half this morning doing. It was already. It's the most fun part of this game so far, but it was incredibly fun to do. I had a blast doing it.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
I feel like if I felt like I could get away with only selling that, I would, but It's a small game.
That's like when you upload it on itch and you're like, here's the beta of my game. It's just the setup before the actual play. If this game gets to, $1,000, I'll actually finish the game. So,
Pretty much.
But no, I had a blast doing it. So Nevyn, tell us what's going to happen next.
Well, next we are actually going to play through the trial itself. We are going to role play as our characters. We're going to use their moves. And we are going to try and figure out together what happened here. You remember those epiphany clocks that we made? This is when they're going to start mattering. If you look at your moves,
the faction fractions?
Yeah, the faction fractions. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
My apologies. So the moves that you have, I'm pretty sure every single move affects them in some way. When you do a move, someone's epiphany clock is going to fill up by 1. In some cases 2, in some cases multiple people. So just pay attention to your clocks, and when one fills up, just let me know. And we'll figure out what happens then when we get to it. For now, it's actually time to start with the opening statements. And I'm just going to read what I have written here. Opening statements are where you set the scene of the courtroom. Introduce your characters, then talk briefly about their stance on the case. Describe your characters entering the courtroom, how they look, how they feel going into this, and describe the first thing they see when they enter. And for the prosecution and defense specifically, describe them going over their evidence, at least the stuff that they have on hand.
I mean, do we want a weird Law and Order type intro audio for this before we do this?
Yeah, if you want to,
Let's
for
do
it.
I mean, I'll do the dumb thing I just did before. That's fine. Here, I'm going to pop up the title card. In the space station of New York, Salamander crimes are taken especially seriously. The Salamander squad is represented in 4 different parts: the judge, the witnesses that talk about what happened, the defense, and the prosecution. These are their stories. Now, Keegan, give a little music.
Yes, I'm on it.
Oh my god. That was so loud.
You're welcome.
And
I did not
Dick Wolf is going to come after us. Dick Wolf is coming after us right now for the Rise to Salamander squad.
Keegan jump scared me with that.
All right.
Everything else on the board is set to 30 volume, and I didn't think to double check it for that.
So who goes first?
It doesn't matter. I'll go first. I'll go first to set the tone. So I think we see this very disheveled, goofy looking robot man walk into the courtroom with like a cup of coffee that like the lid has just fallen off and it's not like sitting on the cup correctly. The tie isn't tied correctly. The suit is like a half a size too big. If he had hair, it would be like just all over the place. But instead you see like just wires that are no longer plugged in where they should be, just kind of hanging out. And he's like carrying a stack of notes with the coffee on top and is just like trying to balance it as he makes his way up to where he sits. And he sets it down and he starts going through his notes. You know, he sets aside the medical records and kind of scratches his head as he can't figure out how he's supposed to read them. He kind of picks up and looks at a class picture and just kind of shrugs and sets that down. And then just keeps going through some of his notes and just sits down and there's that.
Perfect.
Keegan, why don't you go next?
Yeah, we see Cleta Cool walk in. She is just acclaimed actress Fran Lebowitz, but transported directly from the 90s. And she is wearing what is not a court appropriate outfit probably, but it looks real fucking good. And she comes out with just a small stack of papers. She does not look prepared. and she sort of sits down, and then out of her hat, she digs out a little salamander and sits it on the table next to her.
I have a question.
Yes.
How big are the shoulder pads in this outfit?
Bigger than you'd imagine.
Perfect.
I have a question. I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
What is bigger, the hair or the shoulder pads?
Ooh.
The limit doesn't exist here.
Okay. I'll
What
allow.
a cop-out.
I'll allow it.
No, every time you look at one, the other gets larger to compensate. It's going to be a
Oh
problem.
my God.
Over.
Like an optical illusion. Like you look away
Quantum.
from one and you swear it starts to grow.
Quantum
Yeah.
shoulder pads, quantum hairdo.
Yeah. You all
You're
understand the aesthetic.
And then I guess do we think that the defendant is like in the courtroom right now?
I mean, I
Absolutely.
did bring
Like sitting.
I think Doc with his charm and good looking human lizard hybrid scales certainly has been able to get out on bail beforehand, and so I think he is not. Yeah, I think he is there with his lawyer waiting, or was waiting as the lawyer came in.
Okay.
And
So Sarah, Dr. Doc is your character. How does he enter the courtroom? How's he
Well-
looking?
hold, please.
Hold please.
Oh my God, it's happening.
oh my gosh, I was so hopeful for this.
We're doing our best. It's not great.
It's better than any
It's
of us are
pretty-
doing, Sarah.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna have
I
to-
didn't even go and get my suit jacket. I didn't even
Okay.
do that.
I'm gonna have to duplicate the scene so that I can make Sarah a version where Sarah is larger than the rest of us.
No, don't leave it like this.
Well, no,
'Cause
just
if
because
we
I
look
want,
too close-
I want. I mean, it won't be all the time, but I just want people to get
Okay.
the
Get up in it.
goods. Yeah.
I would say Dr. Doc is sitting next to his lawyer, and he's very calm. He's looking as other people filter in. If there are any like attractive women, he's probably looking them up and down and winking. And when the prosecution pulls out a little salamander, he does kind of one of like these, just kind of.
Hmm.
And other than that, he's just, I would say, pretty average dude.
Excellent.
Really good pecs though.
That's an important detail.
Really good
for sure.
pecs. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Just-
mhm,
okay.
mhm. That's like the one feature that's like above average.
Just above average.
Yeah.
Oof.
All right, awesome. And then I think Judge, Jury, and Executioner enters. Tony, how's that go?
I mean, there's a bailiff who makes a very formal announcement, and then like a door in the back opens, and then you like everybody's waiting and they stand up for the judge to enter, but then all of a sudden you just hear like vroom 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 in the hallway behind the courtroom as Judge Jurian rides in on their on their hover their like future bike and like pulls into the courtroom, shoulder pads that rival the prosecution's.
For now.
Pops pulls down the aisle, like flips the bike around, pops it off, pops the helmet down, pulls out their Tamagotchi and feeds it real quick, holsters that, pulls their gavel out of their other holster and walks up behind the bench and says, "You all may be seated."
What is the this is your courtroom, Tony. What does it look like? What are we working with here?
Yeah. So what does the courtroom look like? I'm gonna describe the general tone and then let you each add a detail. The general overall courtroom is so imagine if Nickelodeon designed the set for Judge Dredd, and we're gonna marry those two things together. So we've got
That's an easy thing to
big,
imagine.
big
Yeah.
oversized kind of minimalist minimalist architecture with Gothic like suggestion, and like a dark sky up above, but then just like neon and gack splat everywhere else is the general vibe of the courtroom. So I'll let each of you add a detail into that from there. So Sarah, what's one detail you want to add to that?
The walls are lined with different statues of the judge posing differently with like laser guns and like bowling balls from like one of those what was it? Like the neon bowling alley kind of deals. Just
So
posing
good.
differently. Just probably there's 6 of them, 3 on each side.
Yeah. And Nevyn, what do you want? What element do you want to add?
I was gonna say one of the, because this is like a big time courtroom, so there's obviously like room for
Absolutely.
people to be seated.
Gallery.
The gallery, yeah. I'm gonna say 2 things because I really like what Jam just said in chat.
It's very good.
So one of the seats in the gallery, and it's a different one every trial, has a built-in whoopee cushion. And there is absolutely somewhere in the courtroom a slime bucket.
Yeah, you don't know where he is. You don't. That's all may be seated, and that happens. Excellent, Keegan. What do you want to add as the one element to the courtroom?
Yeah, so this is a partially amphibious courtroom, obviously, because salamander crimes are in fact tried here. So as you might expect, each of the tables for the defendant and the prosecutor have little pools in them that are traditionally filled with water, so the salamanders don't get too dry. But because of the sort of Nickelodeon theming we have going on here, it is Baja Blast in each of them.
Excellent. Excellent brand placement. That's how we're getting a lot of the cost of the TV crew covered is that product placement.
Okay, but can we say that this court is also sponsored by Taco Bell, and every time a salamander enters into the pool, you hear the like dong of like the Taco Bell sound?
Dad, do you have the Taco Bell noise on your?
I don't have the Taco Bell noise. I'm so sorry. I can't make noises as fast as we need them.
Keegan, you jump scared someone's cat with the whoopee cushion.
Honestly, good. It's good for your cat's health to be scared sometimes.
I don't think that's true.
It is.
So, as we sit down, I start going through my papers. You see a flash of some sort of silver foil as that I crumple up and toss into a waste paper basket beneath the bench, and which again very high. There's like an eagle on one side and a lion on the other statue, and I like set my hands on top of each one. And then like my bench starts rising slightly into the air to make me that much more intimidating. And I'm like, hey y'all, what's up?
Oh, hey, Judge.
Is everybody ready for today's trial? Any motions before the court?
Nevyn's reading the game.
I am reading the game.
Oh, yeah, this is not a thing. This is me just picking up narratively.
Okay, excellent. So we do give
like, wait, were we supposed to have motions prepared? Oh shit! Oh,
I was
shit.
like,
no,
fuck,
we
I'm
do
gonna let
give-
Nevyn take the first motion.
We basically just give like the prosecution and the defense give like their opening
statements. Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's no
and then-
motions or anything, and so
No,
But
not
I do
really.
love that in that moment there was player character bleed because I asked that question and Nevyn's character had the exact same response as Nevyn did, which is shit. Am I supposed to have motions? Is
Well,
that a
I like
thing?
the idea
Absolutely.
that they look.
Trent has no idea what's going on. This is Trent's first day on the job.
I like
We
that they
both-
maybe like looked at each other and then looked back at the judge like,
No.
All right, well, let's get into it then.
In Celebrity Bird Court, there are no motions pre-trial.
Okay. So, Keegan, you're the prosecution. You give the first
no.
opening statement.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was not prepared to make an opening statement.
Keegan, it's like the one thing we talked about before.
You said you read the rules.
I did. It didn't mean I was prepared.
While Keegan is rereading the rules, can we establish that the bailiff is like Wilson from Home Improvement, and you only see this much of them up because they're standing behind like a barricade that's covered in neon?
I love
think
that.
that's good.
I think the judge, like there's a high wall back behind, like the stenographers on one side, you can't see them. Like there's bulletproof glass the whole way around.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the click 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 clack on one side, and you can only see the bailiff, who is probably like 8 feet tall, given the height of this wall, peeking over the top of it.
Correct.
Perfect.
Great.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, we see Cleta Cool here start her opening statement. And she sort of describes the overall angle of her case here, which is, of course, that Doc McScaly has been kidnapping salamanders. A, both to become more McScaly, and B, because he wants to personally hurt Selena Amphibia, who he had previously an illicit affair with. And I have the evidence. I'm going to prove all of this. And those are the sort of vibes of my opening statement.
Excellent. Excellent. And the Salamanders are very valuable to our community. And we all know why that's a big deal. Defense?
So Trent Trent stands up and like tries to like straighten his tie, but it immediately gets unstraightened again. Like it's just perpetually not right. And Trent's voice is basically like a really beat crushed Vocaloid voice. So it's like text to speech passed through like really bad speakers. I obviously am a human and cannot emulate that. If I had voice mods set up, I could. But
That'd be a shame if you could emulate that style of voice.
that's the vibe. That's the vibe. So Trent like stands up and is just like, Your Honor, I'm very happy to be here today. I will prove that. And looking at notes, points at Cleta. And it's like, she's wrong. It wasn't points at Doc. It wasn't Dr. Doc. And today in court, I will prove that. Thank you. And then sits down.
Doc is then going to like hold up part of the defense that had fallen off during your little monologue and say, "You drop this." It's
I'll
just
pick
like
it
a
up.
shoulder plate or something.
Oh, I like picking.
Oh no, we all
thank
have
you.
shoulder pads.
I just like slap it back on and like
The
part
way
of my finger like flips open and I like weld it back into place.
Yeah, the way we know Doc is supposed to be painted as a villain in this scene is they're the only one without shoulder pads.
Correct. But really good pecs.
Really good pecs. Nope. It's almost as if the pads had slid down
Mhm,
onto the
mhm.
chest. And so
Interesting.
excellent. Those are the opening statements.
So next, we actually move on just straight into it with the first witness. The first witness is called to the stand by the prosecution and gets sworn in, and that's just what happens in court. If our court swears people in, I'm assuming it does because we have Judge Dredd here, but who knows?
Yeah. I make you put your hand on a
Gun. A gun.
cool books
So
from
the prosecution.
90s. Hold on. Let's
Okay. I'll wait. I'll be
let's not let
patient.
A pog.
Can it be
I
like
make you put your hand on a stack of pogs.
There you go.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Pog?
I knew it. Perfect.
Your Honor, should I call the witness now, or do
Yeah.
you want everyone to swear when it wants?
I would like everyone to swear right now because this is a funny bit, but it won't be funny if we repeat it throughout the entire trial.
It absolutely will is the thing. It absolutely will.
So yeah, Keegan, you get to pick who the first stand character is that comes up. And then Sarah, you should describe their entrance. You know, what are
Okay.
they wearing? Are they in their best attire? Did they just come from prison? What are the first things that we notice about them? And then the prosecution will begin questioning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who
Your
you
Honor, I'd
calling,
like to
Keegan?
call Guy Human Dude to the stand.
Okay. All right. Okay. Give me a moment, please.
Incredible.
We love a bandit.
Okay. Guy Human Dude does walk in with a sword. Guy Human Dude is probably 5'4". His hair is kind of it's combed back and yet still has a bandana on it. It's kind of a confusing vibe, pompadour and bandana, but he wears it well, or they wear it well rather. They stride in, sword over their shoulder, with a saunter, as they approach the stand, not making eye contact with anyone as they are wearing sunglasses at night.
Perfect. So questioning is kind of its own thing. Essentially, Keegan, you and I are going to take turns questioning the witness.
Okay.
You get to open 3 lines of questioning, or was it
2, I thought.
2?
Two.
You get to open 2 lines of questioning.
Wow, Nevyn, did you read the game?
I've never read before in my life. I write things, I don't read them, Keegan.
That's extremely fair. Never mind.
Okay, so you get to open 2 lines of questioning per stand character. In order to open a line of questioning, you have to point to a specific piece of evidence. So with Guy on the stand, you would have to be like, so this gun, and then ask a question about the gun, and then it basically kind of becomes free-form role play from there, with the stand and the prosecution or defense using their moves. An important thing to note, you can use your moves as a part of a response or as a part of questioning. They all intermingle. It's just important to discuss those moves as you're using them so that it's clear what the goals are.
Okay, cool. Do we want to just go over the moves real fast for the sake of the audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So the prosecution and defense moves, the prosecution and defense share the same set of moves. There's change the temperature, which is if you see an opportunity to intensify the situation or need to calm things down, let everybody know, figure out how to do it, and then do it. And when you do that, you actually get to pick one of these things. You can say something prodding to provoke whoever you're talking to. You can say something upsetting to weaken their resolve, or say something comfortable to open them up. And then you get to fill your epiphany clock by 1. You can also, of course, object. You have 3 different reasons that you can object for instead of every single kind of objection, because that gets real boring real quick. It turns out there are a lot of reasons that you can object to something in court. It's kind of wild. In Justicar, you can object if things are leading, speculative, or irrelevant. And then there are different things that happen whether or not the objection is sustained or overruled. You can also press the witness to ask 2 extra questions, but be careful because it can be objected to. And you can bring in a surprise witness or surprise piece of evidence. And we'll cover more of the details on that when we get to it.
Cool.
The stand has well actually, which is, they are an expert in something more than anyone else, and they can bring that into play. They can also just totally lie, and they can totally refuse to answer a question completely. And those all have different aspects. Once per stand character, they can also have an outburst, which is like the big heated like kind of stuff. And they can also use this move called My Secrets or Your Secrets, where they use their key to implicate someone else. And that's kind of what we're working with here. The judge has moves as well, which we can kind of deal more with when they come up.
Yeah, but essentially I can basically tell you help people along or tell people to shut up. Those are basically the two things I can do.
That is the gist of it. And as always, as a reminder for those who are joining us or for those who are only watching this part, the judge has tilts, which are basically secret biases that are going to shape how they interact with the courtroom.
Yep. And I will say, nobody in chat from part 1 sent me any secret tilts. So you can message me on Discord. If you know me on Discord, share a server with me, just message it to me. It's the best place to do it. Or you can send it to me on Twitter at +1EXP. I will pick one tilt from chat. You cannot post it because no one's allowed to know them. But do that. I also don't have a key still. We're going to figure that out as we go, though. It might be explosive at the end. We'll find out.
Cool. Great. Yeah, we're just gonna open this up then. Yeah. So Guy's my expert witness. He they're an expert on things humans know. So to that end, so Guy, you're an expert on blades and swords, right?
Yeah.
So you know about guns too.
No.
Interesting.
I'm a solely blades and swords and blades kind of guy.
Oh, okay. So you would know if something wasn't done by a sword or a blade, but was done by a gun instead, correct?
Yeah.
So I am going to I bring up a piece of evidence. I have something up my sleeve here. And that is I have a piece of evidence from one of the crime scenes that appears to be a bullet hole in the side of one of the Salamander tanks.
Perfect. So it is treated as like just a general piece of evidence.
Mhm.
So you do actually like get to craft it up here. I've gone ahead and duplicated this stuff for you to fill that out so you can make a brand new piece of evidence.
Great. Bullet hole in Salamander tank. Does someone want to give me a negative aspect for this one?
What is the salamander tank that it came from?
What is?
Yeah, like what salamander tank did this come from? Like there are so many tanks in the city. Who's to say where this one came from?
Gotcha. Is this from? Which is a hilarious question on this piece of evidence exists. But where's it from?
Where is it from?
Okay, guys. So
in this tank.
this should be an easy question for you. I have this picture here. Does this look like it was done by a sword?
I don't think so.
Perfect. That's gonna be. I think that's 2 questions from me. So I'll have.
Well, that's like the first line.
So you can ask as many questions as you want.
Oh,
you can pursue this line of dialogue until it comes to a natural end. I know. I know Sarah's given you a lot to work with here with these responses. But yeah, you can keep on pressing. Or the judge might step in and say something like, I'm going to use guide. I know couldn't help but notice you got kind of the flair for some lizard tails there and some scales yourself. You ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah. It's part of my rebellion, which I lead. It's actually very important to me. our members.
So is this yours?
It is what mine? I'm sorry, I'm not tracking.
The Salamander tank. The Salamander is Salamander. How do you say it?
It's Salamander, Your Honor.
The Salamander tank.
I'm going to.
I've gone ahead and filled in Tony's.
I appreciate that because I was just flailing around trying to find it.
I
Yeah,
moved my epiphany clock next to my character, so it would be easier for me to track.
That's probably a great idea, and I'm going to do that too.
I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, like as we're looking at the Salamander tank. I'd like to use my move. Well, actually,
yes, please do.
So I know more than anyone else in the scene about my job and expertise, and use it to establish a fact or reveal something previously established to be false, for very one specific reason. So when you know more than someone, but in the well, actually way. I can correct and reveal and establish something true, slip up, reveal a bit of my own connection to the case, or plan ahead, incriminating someone else with the facts. I'm not a gun guy. I'm definitely just swords and blades. Because of that, I'm very interested in the way that they wound and damage things, and can reverse engineer that's not actually a bullet hole.
Oh no.
That is that is
so good.
that is in fact just a very small door.
Okay, excellent.
So that's
so
by correcting them and revealing something true.
That's amazing. You
then,
also get to fill in your epiphany clock by 1. I'll go ahead and do that for you.
Yeah, and then to do that second half of that, you know, sometimes these salamanders they have real exotic pets, right? So they need to be able to get in and out of the tanks. But you don't want other pets to get into your tanks. You just get really specific, very small doors.
That's so good. So which of the two did you do? You did correct them, revealing or establishing something true.
Yeah.
What was the second aspect that you picked? Was it plan ahead?
Plan ahead, incriminating someone else with the facts.
Who are you incriminating here?
I would say the exotic pet salesperson. That they would require such small doors.
Perfect. So that Fran. So you're incriminating Fran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Which we just want to clarify for sake of posterity, not Fran Drescher.
Never Fran Drescher.
A different Fran.
All right. So let me just put that extra little bit of detail there. Perfect.
It's a common misconception. You know, not a lot of people know about swords, so they don't really know about bullets. So they don't really know about doors. Happens.
Yeah, if you think about it, a bullet's just like a really small sword.
I mean, more like a throwing dagger, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a blade still.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Excellent. So do you have any follow-ups to that bullet hole thing, or do you want to open up a second line of questioning, or
I'm going to open up a second line of questioning instead. So the other reason you're here, you know like what humans wear.
Yeah. Clothes, mostly. Sometimes. They feel like it.
Okay. Have you seen, and I'm going to hold up a set of salamander skin boots.
Shit.
Have you seen these before?
I'm going to tell a bold-faced lie.
Hell yeah, baby! This is my favorite move in the game, I think.
So sometimes even under oath, you just want to tell a lie. as I've got like lizard tails hanging from my belt,
Mhm.
I want to say I have never seen those boots in my entire life.
Yeah. I am going to.
Let me see, but let's see. Announce what I'm doing out of character and pick one. Nikes. How can I tie it to my key though?
Let's see.
Or
your
lean.
key...
No, I'm lean into my style. I would say lean into my style, right? Because lizard
Yeah,
tails.
absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Cool. I'm immediately going to press the witness here.
Perfect. So you could press the witness. You could follow up on it. So you're pressing the witness so that you get to ask some more questions.
Oh, that's 2 extra questions. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was going to press them on that piece of.
If you want to, you can
testimony.
just like do that in
You
character.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can
just dig
narratively do
further.
that.
You can
Cool,
also this can kind of work towards like changing the temperature, essentially, like putting pressure on the character.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I will change the temperature. I'm gonna say something and try to provoke you here.
Real quick. So you did the bold-faced lie, so you pick another
Yes.
player and fill in their epiphany clock by 1. It feels like it would be the prosecution since
That's
they're
what I
asking you.
feel like. Yeah, it was either the prosecution or like the judge who's kind of watching, who's seen a lot of court proceedings and knows like clearly this guy is lying. So I'd be fine. Let's go prosecution. That makes more sense.
Perfect. So I'll go ahead and handle that. And then Keegan, you may
Yeah,
you
I'm
may
gonna
do
say
your
something
thing.
prodding to provoke them. So, am I to believe we don't see the lizard tail sticking out of your jacket?
Careful, counselor.
Yeah, I would like to raise an objection here.
Goes to character.
What? I didn't. What did you say?
It
Goes to character.
It's a response to an objection, right? Like this,
It isn't a response to an objection.
What objection were you raising first, Nevyn?
Leading.
Leading.
So
and-
here's the way objection works. You can object to a question or statement from anyone, and the judge has the power to sustain or overrule your objection. To raise an objection, pick one of the following reasons. I'm choosing leading, and then if it's sustained or overruled, different things happen.
Okay, but your response, Keegan, narratively is that it goes to character.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'll allow it, but you're on a short leash here.
Sick.
Okay,
the
so
objection
it
This
was
is
sustained.
remember, this is a cool court.
Yeah, this is a chill court.
Be chill. But if you need to get a little unchill, I understand.
So the objection was overruled.
Correct.
So I must pick one of these. Either react poorly, giving the judge a new tilt against me, react sportingly and create a new connection, or react with abandon, inadvertently revealing my key. I'm gonna react sportingly to just kind of build onto my connection with Cleta. So I'll object, or it'll be overruled, and I'll just be like, fine, whatever. Whatever. I don't understand how this shit works anyways. Go for it, Cleta. Do your thing. You got this.
Okay, cool. So as I was saying, are we to believe we don't see the lizard tail sticking out of your jacket?
I would like to use my move. My secrets are your secrets.
Oh no. Pulling more moves on me.
My key can implicate someone involved whether or not they've been brought up yet. And when I use this move, I must reveal my key and tie it to another character in some way. So, as I've stated before, I am a rebel leader. Keyword being leader. I work with the humans. I know what the humans do. Okay, all right. What you've got there looks like salamander boots. He's a lizard tails. Different, you know. But you know what? If I wanted to get some salamander boots, you know who I'd talk to? A doctor.
Ooh, there's like a ooh.
Oh wait, I
in the
literally have
court.
one of those. What am I doing?
Oh, perfect. Is that what that is? Because I thought it was a chair moving.
No, it's supposed to be a gas. It's the first one I found.
It's terrifying.
It's great. Cool.
Think
That's
about it. makes sense, right? They work at a hospital, got access to skin.
That's all I wanted from you. It makes
Scalpels
sense
are
for you
just
to
tiny
be the
swords.
doctor. That's all. I'm done with the witness. I'm ready to move on.
Okay, so you and Guy, you and another player of your choice fill in their epiphany clock by 1.
Yeah, so me and then I feel like it's prosecution again, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's my turn. So cross-examination works a little bit differently. I'm basically going to be focusing on asking follow-up questions on like what Cleta established. And one of the key differences here is that I can actually ask leading questions because it's cross-examination, and that's kind of the point of it. So Trent like stands up and goes, thank you, Cleta, for leaving the door wide open for me.
Yeah, anytime, darling.
I truly appreciate it. You are just so peachy to work with and against.
The judge nods approvingly because this is the type of chill he likes to see in the courtroom.
So, Guy, you said that you were a rebel leader. Is this correct?
Yeah, you know that because you represented me in a case before there, Trent.
I did?
Yeah, like last week.
Oh, sorry. The memory banks aren't what they used to be. You understand? For the benefit of the court, can you just remind everyone what exactly you are what the rebellion is?
Objection, Your Honor. This is irrelevant.
No, this is definitely relevant.
Completely irrelevant. He's completely out of order.
It's totally relevant.
I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. Maybe we just step back and do a gimme.
Your Honor, I need you to tell me if that was sustained to overrule.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking like it's not a big deal if we just step back and just do a gimme on it. You know, like let him ask the question again. And then you can eject again if you want to, but I want you to think about it real hard this time.
Okay, I got you, Your Honor.
So that's overruled?
No, I think he really didn't hear the question.
Okay. Right. Your Honor, I'll speak louder since you're so up high and back.
Sorry, I was playing on my Game Boy. I'll put it away real quick.
Oh, is it Pokemon Red?
So as I was asking, Guy Human Dude, can you just remind everybody in the court what exactly it is you are rebelling?
Objection, Your Honor. It's still irrelevant, just like last time.
What was it you said to me earlier? Goes to character. That's it.
You just learned that, did you?
I knew.
I have been called a character from time to time. Yes.
You know, I feel like we've been exploring a lot of character here. I'm gonna overrule that again, because in this courtroom, characters are welcome.
Yeah. So
overruled objection.
Overruled.
How is Cleta gonna react?
Poorly. Giving the judge a new tilt against her.
Excellent. You can DM Tony the tilt.
Do you say anything specifically?
This is outrageous. I don't understand what we're doing in this courtroom anymore.
Perfect.
I'm warning you, counselor. This character
warn away,
in question
Judge.
has betrayed my style, which is 90s cool kid chill vibes until I decide to shoot you in the head after the trial. I think we need to just, breathe. If you need to take a little bit in the Gak pit, drink some Baja Blast. Sit down.
I mean, this is a kangaroo court, but I'm gonna drink my Baja Blast.
The
and be
kangaroo
quiet.
court is down the hall and only for special occasions.
So, as I was saying,
Yeah, no, I
Guy
can answer
Human
the
Dude.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. We're our rebellion, we like to refer to ourselves as Borders Without Doctors. We are rebelling against medical science as a whole.
I just gotta know, borders like lines on a map, or borders like this is Tony
Like the
asking.
bookstore.
Or
like
like
the
we are boarding other people's.
No,
Like
the
the
bookstore.
Yeah.
Like we don't
Borders-
want doctors in our borders.
Borders Books Without
You're just
Doctors.
taking over all the old borders
Oh my
locations,
God.
and you're not allowing doctors inside of them.
That is correct.
They're getting rid of the medical texts in each of the old borders, obviously.
That's what we build the barricades with. Yes.
Excellent. Oh my God. Where was I? I had a thing, but that completely threw me off.
You're welcome.
So I am.
That's the stupid question. Get a stupid answer, bud.
There are no stupid questions.
Or stupid answers in this game.
So I am going to go ahead and bring up again the Here's how I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna change the temperature. I'm really gonna try to piss off Guy Human Dude. And the way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna say something to provoke you. And I'm basically kind of going to lean into so you say that you're very against the doctoral sciences, specifically in Borders Bookstore. I understand this. I think everybody understands this. But what I'm really curious about is, as the leader of a what did you call it? A rebellion? I think that was the word you used.
Yeah.
It seems, maybe a little ridiculous that you've got so much Salamander stuff. I just don't understand. It seems like an affectation, if you will. Seems like you're really trying to put on airs here. Can you explain how these two things are connected, if at all? I don't know. It just seems ridiculous to me.
Well, I'm gonna use my move Outburst.
Perfect.
When things get intense, sometimes it's all you can do to let it all out at once. My current character releases intense emotion, revealing or introducing a new fact to the case. This should be something they've been keeping secret, or that they saw or discovered. Guy is going to slam their hand, or the hilt of their sword, down on the stand and then point it menacingly at the defense and go, listen here. We didn't want to be involved in the Salamander business, okay? Them damn raccoons that have been moving in. They forced their hand, okay? All right? It's not our fault. They started taking over the cars.
I'm sorry.
next?
You said that. You said there was a lot of things that just got said. They were very over the top. I'm gonna need that stricken from the record. If you want to talk about whatever you just said, I wasn't even really, I couldn't even take it in. It was just so overwhelming. Then you're gonna have to say it in a calm, cool, collected voice.
I can't be calm. Guy stands up.
I'm we're gonna fill in one. I am dismissing, so we are gonna fill in 1 point from to your epiphany clock, the stand.
Everyone fills in an epiphany clock by 1 from my outburst.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
And I've got the new detail of the case put in here. The raccoons got Guy into the Salamander business.
And even though I dismissed it, it's like in a real courtroom where everybody's already heard it anyway, so it doesn't matter, right?
So
Exactly.
what does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't actually strike it from any of the
Right.
records.
I was hoping not, because that's such a great thing to have had said.
The raccoons did it. Jeez Louise. Okay. So with that, with you doing the outburst, I think I just go, all right. No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah.
guy will storm off of the stand doing one of these. At
See
the
you later,
defendant,
guy.
And will storm out of the courtroom.
Just straight up leaving.
Moving to the back row.
He's moving
where
to Kangaroo Court where he's needed next.
Yeah, needed next.
Excellent, delightful. We love to see it. So that's the first witness done. Now we are going to move on to the second witness. Or does Keegan, do you happen to have a surprise witness to call to the stand at all? Because this is like a slot for one of those. I don't have anyone in mind just yet.
No, I'm.
How
good
does
right now.
is surprise witness just one of those witnesses, or is it you make up a character on the spot?
You make up a character.
I will do that
Okay.
just because I want to see Sarah panic and try to find a correct prop. But I am going to
Challenge
avoid it
accepted.
currently.
Perfect. So it is my turn to bring in a witness. I am going to call in. Let's see what these connections are. I'm really trying to.
Juice those connections.
Yeah, really trying to metagame here.
Can't wait for that PvP at the end of this.
Where me and Nevyn fist fight in real life.
Your Honor, the defense would hang on. Flips through some notes. The defense
Can I object to this already? Or
No. Can't you? I don't think you can. Can't...
in bird
Can't she-
court you can.
Hey.
Oh, this isn't bird court.
Chill.
Right,
I'm
chill.
chilling.
This is chill court. We'll chill.
It's like the cool chill
Of a Baja Blast.
No. Even better than that. Of like a vanilla ice cream wrapped in a delicious layer of chocolate. That kind of chill's what we're looking
Dipped
for.
in a. Do you dip it in the Baja Blast?
I mean, you could.
Is that what you do? I've never
I
been
mean,
to.
in this courtroom,
I've never eaten food
we have
before.
laws, but we don't
I
have
am
a
a-
ton of rules. You know what I'm
I
saying?
am a robot. I do not eat the food. Anyway, I would like to call to the stand next witness, Fran Butcher.
Stand by, please.
Fran the Butcher. It's a commercial break that pops up on the screen for the TV show while this is happening. It's the year 2203. Keegan, what commercial pops up on the screen?
It's a commercial for wow, I was staying in voice. It's a commercial for Taco Bell still.
Taco Bell?
Unfortunately. They are now the only fast food corporation.
Awesome. We got some
They
real
won in the
Demolition
fast
Man
food
action
wars
going
of
on here.
2144.
Love it. What is their flagship offering?
It's still a crunch wrap, but now it has KFC inside of it. That's all.
So it's Crunchwrap with a K.
Yeah, it's K-Runch wrap.
Love it.
I don't like K Runch Wrap. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's difficult to deal with.
I X that. I like the idea that it's like the KFC bowls turned into a crunch wrap, which is I think probably the greatest abomination one could ever that could come out of the fast food wars.
Yeah, they're new. It's no longer Live Mass though. It's Taco Bell Eat Here or Perish.
Excellent. So as
good.
that commercial finishes up, we flash back to the courtroom. The title music plays again.
I definitely remember what music it was.
Doesn't
it was,
matter. All right. Do you swear to Pog?
I do.
I love that this
Proceed.
is just the voice. This is just the voice that we're all doing for all of our characters.
I was like, I've tried to fight it so
This
hard,
is-
and I keep on sliding back into it. It's so
a palette-
infectious.
our palette says brickwork, and this is what brickwork means.
This is
to
what
us,
brickwork
apparently.
means.
yeah,
in
this
our
is
setting.
brickwork.
We're talking brickwork here.
So, Fran, can I call you Fran? Is that all right?
It's pretty familiar, but sure, why not?
We'll allow it.
So Fran, For those in the court, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Yeah, so I'm Fran. I run an exotic pet shop where I sell exotic pets, and you know, that's about it for me. I like walks. I hate Pachisi, so don't even ask. You know, that's I used to be in education, but then the big fight just took it out of me, and I just couldn't anymore.
Let's all take a moment to pause and just remember those who were lost in the big fight.
Everyone like bows their heads, and then like
The little salamander next to me bows its head.
Why is it so cute?
So, thank you very much, Fran. We all appreciate your service in the big fight, truly.
Thank you.
Now, what I would actually like to ask a little bit about your time in education, and I'm going to open up a line of questioning using the Salamander class field trip to an active volcano. I understand that you served. There was a school trip that our dear missing Selena was on during your time, and that was a class field trip to one of the very few active volcanoes in this space sector. What can you tell us about that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just need to. Okay, it's just when I get nervous, I just need to.
Take your time.
I don't really see how this is relevant to this right now, but yes, I was a chaperone on this school trip to what was later revealed to me an active volcano.
Later revealed to you, so you weren't aware. Nobody made you and the other chaperones or even the students aware that it was to an active volcano off the bat.
No, it was a complete surprise.
Nobody thought to check where the nobody thought to check where the field trip was going to.
I mean, I really don't think that anyone gave a crap about these salamander kids. I'm gonna be honest.
Really, that's very interesting and something honestly quite horrible to say given the situation. Do you not give a crap about the salamanders now, Miss Butcher?
She's gonna get really nervous. I'm trying to think.
I'm also totally like saying these things specifically. Like, if anyone wants to use any moves, there's plenty of opportunities.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying this too much. I don't want to object again.
Good.
I would like to use, well, actually, I know more than anyone else in this scene about my job and expertise. Use it to establish a fact or reveal something previously established to be false for one very specific reason. I get to pick 2 to do. I'm going to lean on my expertise as amphibious assault and say, well, no, actually, I care very deeply about salamander issues. That's why I teach amphibious assault classes to help them defend themselves against larger opponents. It's something that I took away from the big fight to actually, better my community. So I think that it's really made a difference. And through that work, I've worked very closely with, the victim. And I'm gonna pull in my key right here as expert witness. And it's because of that work that I saw her get kidnapped.
Oh shoot! There's a big old gasp there. If Keegan wants to use that sound. Saw.
Just do it twice for you.
It's so bad.
It's so good.
Okay, so Fran saw Selena get kidnapped. What epiphany clocks do you get to fill for that?
So, well, actually, I get to fill my own by 1.
Damn. Okay.
I look at the witness who's obviously become emotional, and I say, I remember my class field trip to the only active volcano in this sector of space. There were all these little, what do you call them? These little lizard things running around. They were getting really dry. It looked like they were mostly supposed to be like in water part of the time and not in water the other part of the time. Who knows what they're called? But anyways,
You're on it. They're salamanders.
Slamandas?
Salamanders.
Salamadandas.
Close enough.
Salamadandas.
Salamander. Yeah, she says it's close enough. We'll allow that.
And I remember we were one of the last classes to go for about a decade because that's when the raccoon spaceships arrived.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gracious.
I would like to have an outburst.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna fill up my own epiphany clock by 1 because that was me guiding, which gives me the ability to share a random anecdote.
Fran is going to start crying. She's going to start sobbing. Yes, it was the arrival of the raccoons that ultimately led to the big fight. I mean, it was just so horrifying. Dr. Doc and I served in the same unit. We saw so many things that I can never forget. I'm sorry. I just need a different hat. It just helps.
I had you a neon pink T-shirt that has like my Judge logo brand across it. It's were they hypercolor the ones that like changed colors as they change temperature? It's definitely a hypercolor shirt, but I give it to you to blow your nose on, and say, hey,
thank you.
I know you're really upset right now, but this is a chill courtroom. I'm gonna need you to button it up.
Oh my god! So what are you doing with your outburst?
So I want to stop and heave, revealing how someone other than the suspect was involved. So I need to swap that around, because I did reference the suspect specifically. I'm going to pull in Roberto. Following the big fight. And the big fight's never really over. Sometimes you have to fight in the shadows. And I lost the character voice for a second because the tears. It was just very painful to me.
Happens to all of us.
It's okay. Like I said, you got about 30 seconds to process your emotions, and then you're gonna need to just chill.
Just keep it moving. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what my therapist said too.
I think you might need to find a better therapist.
I think I need a different hat.
Just constantly changing hats.
You look like a who with that. Ooh, that's a terrible smell. I'm so sorry. In the chat, the judge smells like a Sublime concert.
Can we? I object. Objection.
The judge smells like a key lime concert, I think is what you meant.
As a result of that outburst too, if you haven't marked it, everybody
gets to mark their clock, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I have not been filling mine. I don't know if I'm included in that.
Nevyn has been doing. Oh, you have not been filling yours on those moves. Is what you're saying?
I've been doing my best.
Yeah, awesome. I've been kind of keeping track of my own. I will say, Sarah, because I warned you, you do also get to add another. You're gonna get to add another.
Awesome. Thank you, Nevyn. I appreciate you.
I got it. Okay, so seeing that Fran is having a hard time chilling out, I'm going to change the temperature, and I'm going to say something comfortable to open them up. So Trent approaches the bench and puts his hand on the bench and is just like, listen, Fran, Miss Butcher, I understand that the big fight was a hard time. It was a hard time for all of us, but I'm gonna need you to, understand that we are doing this for the Salamanders. We're really trying to figure out who actually is doing this. So just help us, just focus up, help us figure out who really kidnapped poor Selena. I'm going to move on to my second line of questioning, which is a picture of the high school class of 2203. Just immediately turn around and whiplash you with a very emotional picture of you and all of the salamanders.
Oh, good lord.
Who in here can you point to the victim in this photo?
Your Honor, this is leading the witness. I have to object again.
Because it's leading? How's it leading?
Well, he's leading the witness to answer the question.
Good.
You know, he asked it in a nice chilled tone. He's got a picture of these things. I used to have some of these when I was a kid, but I don't for the life of me know what these things are called. And I'd love to hear more about this. So I'm going to go ahead and overrule that again.
What's your reaction, Keegan?
I'm thinking. It's not going to be a good reaction. I feel like that's just my character at this point. But I just gave the judge a new tilt against me a few minutes ago. So I'm going to react sportingly and create a new connection. Does it matter who the connection is to?
No, not really.
Okay, cool.
You can just kind of make it.
Cool. I'm going to create a connection from me to the judge then, because I am trying to react more calmly. I think the judge can see that I'm taking their advice or whatever.
Excellent. So yeah, can you just point out the victim in this photograph?
Yes. And Fran will point at Selena Amphibio.
Excellent, thank you. Now, can you also do me a favor? Do you happen to see the defendant in here at all?
No.
Exactly. And I'm going to use I'm going to bring in a surprise piece of evidence. Actually, no, I don't even need to. I'm going to use the medical records, which are completely illegible. So I'm going to pull out these medical records, and I started talking thinking I would know what to do with them when I got to this point.
It's the real problem.
Here's the thing about this photograph. Quite simply, Doc couldn't have done it because the entire time that he had opportunity to... Wait, no, sorry, actually, let me back up because I just remembered something. You said that you saw... So Fran saw Selena get kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think instead my follow-up is like, okay, so we can't confirm yet. That is Selena. Can you tell us about when she was kidnapped?
Yes. I had shown up to teach, amphibious assault classes. They were having a Selena Amphibio lookalike contest, and it felt like a good time to show up and teach the salamanders a thing or two, keep them safe from the raging big fight and the raccoons and whatever have you. So I was there outside a really big beautiful brick building, a very impressive brickwork, if I'm honest. And I saw Selena walking down an alley before she was pulled into a car and then was taken.
I'm sorry, why were they having a Selena lookalike contest? I mean, like...
Your Honor, have you seen her? Wouldn't you like to look like Selena?
I hear that. Listen, that is my favorite of hers. I'm going to be really honest. I think that's her best work.
I mean, I think I've watched like a I think I've watched 5 minutes of Selena's art in Toto. Yeah, no, I don't get it. I'm seriously asking here.
Your Honor, am I allowed to object to your line of question? Because it seems irrelevant.
Only if you want it to get overruled. If you want it in the record, we'll put it in the record.
So Trent is just like really desperately trying to just like
keep this train on the track.
So I just want to. You said something very interesting there. You said she got pulled into a car.
Yes, that is correct.
Would that happen to be this car? And then I show like a photograph of the space car that was seen outside the city limits.
Yes, that is the car.
Interesting, very interesting. Because you see something not a lot of people know about this car in particular. It's actually registered to some feral raccoons.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Gasp from the audience.
I can't find
No
my mouse.
further questions at this time, Your Honor. I think that there we go.
Yeah, but could someone explain to me, like, what's the deal with like, why do people? I mean, I get that she's in the pop.
Your Honor,
like,
I am going to put the objection into the record this time.
Overruled.
This is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. We can't keep doing that.
I'm sorry, but did you not see her in that amazing Klondike bar commercial?
The Klondike bar commercial?
Yeah.
No. We're gonna take 5 minutes. With 5-minute break for the judge to reflect. Download this Klondike commercial, and we'll come back and continue these proceedings shortly.
Are we taking
a break?
And that wasn't my intent, but that wasn't my intent.
Rapidly.
I had one more thing to say, which is just like, so it's very interesting that she was kidnapped by raccoons in a car registered to a bunch of feral raccoons. My client, I think this goes without saying, and I like look to Doc and I go, would have nothing to do with raccoons. That was the whole point of the big fight.
I mean, we served together. I can vouch.
There we go. No further questions.
I just want to clarify one thing, Counselor. Do you have the feral raccoons registration papers on file? Because I have never in my entire time here on the bench known a feral raccoon to register anything.
And this is where I have something up my sleeve, and I reveal the registration papers.
Awesome. Let's walk through that. And then, okay, let's do this. And then shortly we'll take a break. I'll download the video, but I need to review these records first. What is this, Counselor?
So the piece of evidence is the car registration papers, and the flaw is how absolutely surreal is it that raccoons registered a car. And I walk up to the judge with these papers and go, yes, here are the car registration papers. As you can see, they are registered to FGOR, which, as we all know, stands for Feral Group of Raccoons.
Yep. And this
here's the VIN, here's the make and model. This is it. These they did dang do it.
This raspberry jam paw print down here does seem to signify that these are probably feral raccoons. I probably should not have licked that. I just wanted to check, make sure everything was in order, though. Let's go ahead and
at Salamander Court.
Let's go ahead and enter these as People's Exhibit 5 into the records. I'm kidding. Prosecution, would you like to take a minute to look at these?
No, Your Honor. If you think they're good, I'll just take your word for it.
I mean, if you need to taste the jam, taste the jam. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand, but I'm watching my figure. I don't want to taste raccoon jam. It's fatty.
So everyone gets to fill in their epiphany clock by 1.
Hell yeah.
We should cover something important because I'm at 7 out of 8.
Yeah.
What happens when we hit 8?
So when you hit 8,
We'll find out when we hit 8, Tony.
You get to establish a fact about the case.
Okay.
And then it also it affects the ending that we get. So depending on how we do, we're going to get different endings. The more epiphany clocks that are filled, the better, generally speaking.
Cool. Excellent.
Cool.
So yeah, I no further questions. I yield my time.
Well, I'd like to question him still, if that's good with you, Your Honor.
That's fine. We can wait a little bit. I've got the bailiff downloading the commercial as we speak.
It's inspiring.
It can hold.
Okay, perfect.
Did we? Sorry, just checking in. Are we taking a 5-minute break?
No,
We're not taking a 5-minute break right now.
That's only happening in the fiction, not in real life. In real life, you're stuck here forever.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
There's only court now.
There's only court.
There's
So,
only Salamander
Fran.
court.
I can call you Fran still, right? That's not just for him?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. So, look,
Oh,
I
it's
have
not
here a
a bit-
copy
it's
of
not a
Dr.
little
Doc's
too familiar.
schedule, and it says he's with you.
Could you repeat that question? The defense lawyer was being very rude.
The defense lawyer was being very rude.
Your Honor, I object to the defense lawyer.
Well, I'm not doing
Very
anything.
rude.
Object to the defense lawyer.
That's irrelevant, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was irrelevant, but it's certainly sustained.
Perfect. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't think that was a real use of objection.
No, that was just goofing.
Cool. So, Fran, if you can control
Mhm.
yourself for a moment,
Yeah.
it says I have here a copy of Dr. Doc's schedule that says he was out of town during the kidnapping. Can you just confirm that's what this evidence is?
I mean, it looks like it. Yes.
Okay, so you'll see here on his schedule, it says you're with him on the day of the kidnapping. You can read that, correct?
Well, I mean, I don't.
I would like to use my move refusal.
Perfect.
Just because you sworn in doesn't mean you need to cooperate. And the things you refuse to talk about can say just as much about the things you reveal everything about. Be obstinate and refuse in your own way to talk about something else. In order to refuse, one of the following must be true. You're scared of someone else in the case if you answer truthfully. Or I'd incriminate myself with my answer.
Both of these are really good.
Both of them are very good. So I'm gonna say I'd incriminate myself with my answer.
I think that's good. That feels right.
That feels right.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
and
I
You must pick another player and fill their epiphany clock. I feel like it's probably the prosecution.
Yeah, man. I'm just setting Keegan up.
I know how to target you, Sarah.
Keegan's got my number.
I need to put my comfort hat on.
yeah,
Or my reading hat, I think, would be more appropriate. No, definitely the comfort hat.
I'm gonna change the temperature and immediately try to provoke you again.
Perfect.
So I understand why you wouldn't want to answer this question, because it really calls into question where you were, if you were actually at the trip and stuff like that. But I've never thought you were, I don't know, that dependable.
Yeah, we're gonna respond with outburst.
Perfect.
Sure.
So change the temperature as a result of their reaction, ask them a question, and fill in your epiphany clock by 1.
Yeah.
So go ahead and fill it up.
Yep, I'm filling it up by 1, and then
So we get to do the outburst.
yeah, we'll do the outburst, and then do we go back? Because to change temperature, Oh wait, I guess I just asked a question.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
you kinda
asked.
did.
I respond with outburst. She is going to break down and start crying again, rapidly cycling through hats as she does, and is going to reveal how someone other than the suspect was involved. Everyone's going to fill their epiphany clocks by 1.
That brings me
she's
and Tony to 8 simultaneously.
I know, amazing.
Perfect.
She's going to reveal that she was supplying Roberta with the beef.
You had the beef.
Okay, so what is do that? Because I want to know what that means. Finally, I want to know what this means.
So anybody who missed the first part of our setup, we have all these different connections drawn. One of them, perhaps the most important one on the board, as far as the connections go, is supplied the beef. We have no idea what it means. We're about to find out.
Like a big square. There we go.
It's just I had a business meeting. I left the assault lookalike contest early to meet up with my contact because he needed beef and I'm his supplier, so I had to go there to support the big fight, because he's still in it. And so I went there with the beef and I gave it to Roberto. So I wasn't actually anywhere that anyone thinks that I was.
So
I need to put on a composure hat.
I thought that was the reading hat.
It's both.
Oh yeah, because you got to be composed when you're reading. You don't want.
Yeah. If you cry on the paper, it just ruins the text.
Me and Tony both filled our clocks up on that.
Yes.
Tony, do you have a truth you would like to establish about this game?
You go ahead and establish yours.
Oh no, I was hoping to get time.
Oh, okay.
I was going to vamp for a minute. Is what was
No,
happening.
that's fine. You know what? I think, emotions are running high. I got a video to review. We're gonna go to a short 5-minute recess. We're gonna come back. We're gonna establish. We're gonna talk about what just came out in this courtroom right now. And then the judge gavel bang, my hover desk goes back in, and there's murmurs across the courtroom. I've got a teenager. What? Okay, cool. That's me. The judge hovers back in 5 minutes later, and has a dark chocolate Klondike bar in their hand. I've never thought much of Selena. During our recess, let emotions settle, get back to chill zone. Oh my God. What wouldn't I do for one of these is more than the question.
Sarah, you're muted.
I was thinking, I was reflecting, I got in the GAC pool.
I don't like that.
And then I put the video up. I want to show you something. And all of a sudden, on a big screens that lower down on either side of my bench, Selena's Klondike bar commercial starts playing.
All right.
It looks like it's just a great endorsement of a tremendous product. And, you'd think about all the things that you would do for a Klondike bar, that I would do for a Klondike bar. You think about all these things. Until this spot. And I pause and I zoom in.
Enhance.
Look what I saw in the background.
What'd you see in the background?
Hold on just 1 second. First things first.
Right, of course, Your Honor. I'm so sorry.
Just be chill. And it zooms in, and it's Doc McScaly with Doc McFluffy, the feral raccoon doctor.
Oh my god!
Gasp
the
sound effect.mp3.
And I can't help but think, what is
Oh
the
my
defendant
goodness.
doing with a well-known doctor that's not allowed in the borders, specifically known for treating feral raccoons, helping rehabilitate them, help them reintegrate into society after the big fight? And what are they doing on the set of this Klondike commercial with the victim?
So the truth that you're establishing here is that Doc and a raccoon doctor were on the set of a Klondike commercial.
Not a raccoon doctor. It was a doctor that's known as Doc McFluffy. We can establish what he's like separately.
I'm going to go ahead now and immediately establish my truth. Which I had in my head a moment ago. Oh, right. I'm going to pull up the car registration papers, which I finally looked at during the 5-minute break. And, you know it looks like it says FGOR on it, but if you actually look at it, that's not a G, that's an R. And that's not an O, that's an A. And this spells Fran, not feral group of raccoons. The car. Yes. The car was 100% owned by Fran Butcher.
Awesome. I'm gonna put that truth down here with the raccoon. Oh my goodness. So much just got revealed. Goodness gracious. So many things are happening.
I still have a whole line of questioning to go still too.
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Great. So now, Fran, we know this is your car. There's no denying that anymore. So I pull up the footage of Selena at the scene of the crime. And is this or is this not your car in the background?
She just nods.
That's it. No further questions.
Oh my goodness.
I have a question, just mechanically. Do we reset our fractions
No.
to 0? They just stay at 8.
They stay at 8.
So we don't do this repeatedly. We just do it one time, and that's cool.
It's one time.
Oh, cool.
That's
I
great.
set mine to 0.
That's good. Honestly, that's good design. I was just making sure.
It was Fran's car.
It was Fran's car the whole time.
Yeah.
It's me, Rocket Raccoon.
Surprise witness.
We introduced him yet.
Sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
That's my 2 questions.
So this is so these are all related now. The space car outside the city limits that we thought was registered to a feral group of raccoons is actually registered to Fran and is in the background of the footage of the Selena lookalike event.
Along with McScaly and McFluffy, the conspiracy goes bigger and bigger.
Oh my goodness. Oh my freaking gracious. Let me just bring this truth down here. Because the Klondike commercial was filmed at the lookalike event?
100%. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh my goodness freaking gracious. We've got
This is really turning into a wild Pepe Sylvia board.
We've got a flow here now. What a journey. Okay. So that was you cross-examining.
Yep.
We have an opportunity for a surprise witness. I don't have a witness.
I have a surprise witness, Your Honor. I'd like to call to the call to the stand Dr. McFluffy. I know you're out here in the audience supporting your friend.
1 second.
Okay, Keegan, go ahead. While Sarah goes and gets goes and gets the costume. Why don't you create Dr. McFluffy as a witness?
Yes, I'm doing it. Let me just replace that. Copy.
To those just now joining us, we are playing Justicar. I'm gonna vamp a little bit because we've got some more prep to do. We are playing Justicar. It is a courtroom mystery and intrigue RPG for 4 players. It'll be coming to Kickstarter March 29th at bytes.rip/Justicar. We have been weaving a truly ridiculous web of mystery and drama. Oh my goodness. Tony, how you feeling about these red lines all over the place?
I'm loving it. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, we are part of in New York, the space station. We are part of the justice system that helps deal with salamander-based crime. Salamanders, which have genetically uplifted humans in secret, guiding our society to the stars for the last hundreds of thousands of years. I just looked over
I can
and saw
spell
Sarah.
stethoscope. I don't know why anyone's questioning that right now out loud. Yeah, because it's spelled right now.
I did just finally type my secret in case anybody wants to look at it and know what it is. My secret key.
I have a bunch of new pets and don't know what to call them. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. Cool. So Sarah, off to the side there, I gave you Guy McFluffy.
Yes.
Also,
I waited
Sarah,
till you appeared on camera to type a style.
Thank you.
Sarah, you and I get to fill our epiphany clocks by 1 more. We're close to filling up all the way.
Heck yeah.
Okay, Guy
Introduce us to Guy McFluffy, please.
Oh, please.
Guy McFluffy gets up and removes a pair of medical gloves that he disposes as he walks up. And he walks, very briskly as if he's hurrying to another medical emergency. And he wears his glasses low on the end of his nose and refuses to look through them. It's almost like he wants to condescend to you over the rims of his glasses, and refuses to take his medical mask off as he swears on Pogs. And he was
Is he a raccoon?
He's got a mask on. You can't tell.
There's a mask and glasses. He could be anything.
I'm gonna be honest. If some people in our world are to be believed in the last 2 years, yes, having a mask on means you cannot tell anything about the person in front of you at all.
It's true.
Is he a human doctor, or is he himself a feral group of raccoons?
Is that in a trench coat? Is that a line of questioning you want to open it in cross? Feel free to, counselor.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know. Is that where what are we doing right now? We took
I am now questioning Guy McFluffy.
Okay.
My surprise witness.
Okay.
So Guy McFluffy, you've been watching. We've already established you were with Doc McScaly during the Klondike commercial bar filming.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So in the car, we did in fact find this gun. Do you know anything about it? I just have the gun. It's not in.
Just waving it around in the air.
Yeah, I have my finger on the trigger very clearly. I never learned gun safety. I'm just sort of waving it around as I talk. You recognize this gun, though?
I recognize it as a gun, but I've never seen it before.
Interesting. So you're saying it's not your gun?
No.
You're saying no, it's not your gun, or you're saying no, you're not saying it's not your gun? We want to be clear for the record.
Objection, I'm very confused.
It'll be made clear when the line of questioning's over.
Okay.
Withdrawn, apparently. Okay. Is there a mechanic for withdrawn?
No.
That's fine. I was just curious.
There's not really a mechanic for me to respond to the objections, but it's just such a classic.
No, but there's a
drama.
narrative reality to it that I really like.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I think that's part of that's one of the fun things about games like this. I know we'll talk about this more a little bit, but like figuring out what the narrative beats are that actually make sense around the mechanics is one of the best parts about playing these types of games. And so.
Okay, so Doc, you're saying it's not your gun, but you were in the car with Dr. McScaly. Now, did you see, was Fran in the car as well, or was it just the two of you?
I would like to, well, actually.
Oh, good.
So I know more than anyone else in the scene about my job or expertise. My job being a Fagor vet.
A feral group of raccoon vet. Yeah, we're following.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to pick two. I'm going to correct and reveal something, establish that something is true. And I'm going to plan ahead to incriminate someone else with the facts. As a veterinarian, I have made an oath to do no harm. And as such, I would never be in the business of owning a weapon of such make or model, nor knowing anyone intimately who would. However, I do believe that belongs to Miss Butcher's associate, Roberto Micalico.
Interesting. So you're saying it was in her car, but it wasn't her gun, your gun, or Dr. McScaly's gun, but it was in fact Roberto Micalico's gun.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'm willing to pass this witness then. They don't seem to know too much.
Went through all this to bring up the witnesses, just like, eh. Right. What I think I and everyone else would like to know, really, how do you know this is Roberto's gun? How do you know Roberto even?
Yeah, actually, that's a real good question. I'd like to also ask that one.
Sustained. Good question.
I got you back, Coletta. I got you.
Thank you.
So it's a chill time in chill court. Chill salamander court. Yeah, so how do you know all this? That's mighty suspicious if you ask me. And I'm trying to as a part of my questioning, I am trying to change the temperature. I'm trying to provoke you a little bit.
Okay. Guy McPuffy is a real chill guy, turns out. He's more chill than Guy Human Dude. Out of the two guys, he is the chill one.
Oh, they're both named Guy.
This is Doctor. This is Dr. Guy McFluffy.
Yeah, I didn't name this one Guy, but it's extremely me energy to name two PCs Guy.
I just want to play a character who's based on an actress named Fran while there's another Fran in the mix.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's a lot going on here. Layers.
Dr. Doc, or as I lovingly refer to him as McScaly, and I have been dating for some time. The romance started a little non-traditionally as he, fought in the big fight against the raccoons. I help, rehabilitate raccoons. It is unconventional, but, we make it work. Dr. Doc invited us to a dinner with one of his old big fight buddies, Fran, who happened to know Roberto and invited him. Roberto approached me about, beef supply coming from my veterinarian clinic. I declined.
Yeah, Anna, this is just boring. Can I say it's irrelevant because I'm bored? We'd hate to make bad TV,
You're objecting to the stand.
It's fine. I have often been told I can be very clinical.
You know what? We're gonna dismiss a lot of these details. Go ahead and ignore those. Let's the important parts we'll keep. The bad parts we'll get rid of.
The point is, the man threatened me with the weapon.
There we go. That's what we're looking
There,
for.
we got there. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I did not. Keegan did not hear that.
Roberto,
He brandished it at me violently.
Roberto did. Please strike all the rambling details from the record, and just the important part: your lovers, and a gun got pointed at you by Roberto, right?
So you did do a dismiss.
I am dismissing. Yes, I am.
So
moving.
whose epiphany clock is getting filled?
As much as it might seem like this would be a good one for the stand, I'm actually going to give it to the defense because I feel like this was a surprise witness for the prosecution, and me bringing this, clarifying this point might cue something for the defense more likely than it would do something specifically for the stand.
There's so much going on here.
Yeah, this is more red lines than I was imagining.
Is this not normal? Are we breaking?
No, this is good.
We're too good at the game is what's happening.
Here's where I reveal an out of character truth that this is the first time the game has been played start to finish in this iteration.
That is awesome, and I love it.
So
plus,
we are
plus one
truly
exclusive.
We are truly in the realm of play testing right now.
I love it.
So it's really cool that we have here Roberto still does big fight stuff. So the truth that I am going to establish is that it's on the side of the raccoons.
Okay.
Big fight stuff.
Big fight. We just called it the big fight and decided to stick with that.
And it's become such a big part of the
It's become
entire thing.
Arguably the
as
most
the person
major
who
part
coined
of
the
it.
term "big fight" early on, I take full responsibility.
Yes.
I never want to play another game where they're like the war. I always want to play a game from now on where they're like, yeah, that big fight.
The big fight. So
Either that or like something equally like silly, like the scuffle.
Yeah.
the big to do. So what we have here is that Roberto is still doing big fight stuff, but is now on the side of the raccoons, tying him directly to the space car and all of this stuff, and explaining why he brandished this weapon against you.
Sorry, I just need to check and see if my own hard levels are elevated. This has been a lot of human contact for the day.
Just 1 second. My clerk is handing me some important documents. You gotta get in stream here. Thank you, clerk. We appreciate these important documents that you brought me. These ones appear to be mint flavored.
I really want a Klondike bar right now. I'm feeling product placemented.
What
would you do for one?
I would, there's not a lot.
There's
not a lot I wouldn't do for one of these.
Incredible.
I'm starting to wonder if you might have done something for one of those.
I'm sorry, are you making an accusation against me in my own courtroom?
No, I'm just asking questions.
Your Honor, this seems like a leading question. From
no further questions for Guy McFluffy. Guy, thank you very much for your time and for your service and whatever it is you do. I don't know. So now, in the rules, we take a little break, and I do feel like I could use a break. I need a little bit of a snack and some water. Why don't we all take like a 5-10 minute break?
I'm full.
Yeah, we can all go watch a Klondike commercial.
Delightful.
I'm going to find a Klondike commercial supercut. We're going to drop it in the chat so everybody can enjoy it during the break. And we are playing Justicar right now. We are about to go into the final little bit of the game.
The big fight, if you think about it.
The big fight, if you think about it. Of Justicar.
Really think about it.
We'll be back in just about 5 minutes to keep on playing more. Hey, welcome, Raiders. We are taking a short break. We will be right back in just 1 second. We're playing a game of courtroom drama called Justicar by Nevyn Holmes. It's going to be going live on Kickstarter later on this month, but it is a GM-less game where one of us plays the judge, one of us plays all the witnesses, the other person plays the prosecution, and the last person plays the defense. We are about to enter into the final deliberations. And so if you want to stick around for just 1 minute, we were just taking a 5-minute-ish break before we hopped right into that. And we'll be back in just one moment to keep on playing. Thanks, Malakisa, for the raid, though. They can't hear you at all. Hold on. Let me let you do that. Let me turn on the audio for you, Keegan. You can do that again. And we are back here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. Justicar. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, which is a RPG of courtroom drama. It's GM-less. One of my favorite things about it is the way that Nevyn articulates things as two GMs, two players. We can talk about that a little bit more in our reaction roll, but it's got some very cool ways that control and management of the things happen. We've been building this amazing murder/crime board as we have been going through. Part of it was the setup, but it's gotten crazier and crazier. Boom, 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 boom. as we've gone through. Give people the bird's eye view of it. Zoom in a little.
It's really so much bored.
There is so much going on, and like
I want to play this so badly with an actual corkboard.
I yearn to play this all the way through in person. It's truly fucking ridiculous.
Nevyn, I'm gonna be near you in June.
I know you told me.
We gotta figure. I mean,
We gotta link up and play something.
My spouse might be upset, but we're gonna make it happen.
We gotta.
So,
We'll figure it out.
yeah. All right. So you were just telling us that the game ends basically either when everybody's clocks fill up and then you finish off that scene, or when all the witnesses have been interviewed. We're kind of at that space for both. We're near that space for both. So let's head back in. I don't remember where we were, because the judge is a horrible thing to say.
Yeah, your judge.
We
as
are
judge right now. You're calling the last witness, and you're choosing if the defense or
stand
the
picks.
prosecution.
The
Oh,
stand
okay.
picks.
So
Even
Sarah,
better.
you get to pick the last witness. You can either do the last remaining character, or you can decide to bring in a surprise witness. And you decide who examines first, the prosecution or the defense. And we basically play it out as they bring them in.
I want to know how this ends, because honestly, like, this is absurd. So I'm absolutely going to bring in Roberto Micalico. I have to. It's the only option. And
It's
I would
true.
say, let's have the prosecution go first.
Okay, sick.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, give us the bird's eye here as Roberto enters the.
Someone has to go out into the hall and retrieve Roberto, as they have stepped outside for seemingly some kind of break. He refuses to communicate what kind of break it was, but there is a little bit of ice cream on his mustache. As he walks in very disheveled. His clothes are loose fitting, all buttoned up to the tippy top. And when he walks, it's a very kind of squirmy, as if he's like adjusting to see, at any moment who's standing by him. And he will make his way to the stand.
I think as Roberto comes in, we can just see daggers from Cleta to you. So the man of the hour, you decided to show up this time, not like for our wedding?
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot.
There's a reason I've been trying to save this one for last.
Something that is, I think, great about this game is there's so many details that someone is going to forget something, and then it comes up and it's just like oh my God.
For anybody who's like, what? There's this line that has been in play the entire time, which is ex-fiance between Roberto and the prosecution.
There was one where there was a line from the defense to the judge that was, quote, just matched on Tinder. And that played out. I completely forgot about it and said something really dumb to the judge. And then she narrated that I got a message on Tinder that was just a skull. God damn, there it is.
All right. So Roberto makes their way squirmily to the stand.
Yeah, you decided to show up, unlike for our wedding, was where we left it.
You are not still upset about this, Cleta, surely.
Oh my God.
Yo, let's keep things as chill as possible, please.
Yes, very chill. This chill man court.
Okay, my bad, Your Honor. I'll put the kitty gloves on for him because he can't handle a hit anyway.
Whoa.
Wuffa duffa.
Cool.
Trent just pulls out some popcorn.
So
the
Roberto,
judge pulls out a Klondike bar.
As I know, because I was in fact your fiance previously, you deal in less than legal pet trade. Is that correct?
I do not know what you're talking about.
So because
I would like to use my move. Oh wait, because
that's a secret key.
Yeah.
you have to use a piece of evidence.
Okay, I do have to use evidence for it. Okay. There's so many pieces of evidence. Okay.
You can also like bring in a surprise piece of evidence.
Oh, yeah.
And
perfect.
it could be like some receipts that you kept from when you were involved.
Yeah, that's perfect. That is what I will have done. I will bring in a secret piece of evidence using my move.
Receipts sent to you shortly before the wedding. That was like, hey, if this ever comes up in court, you can now plead the fifth also because I'll be your spouse.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you everyone for filling that out.
We got your back.
Yeah, no, I legitimately appreciate it. When I reveal I have something up my sleeve, everyone fills their 50 clocks by 1, by the way. Which will get you
Oh,
there we
the
go.
rest
We
of
get
the
the
way.
last one.
There it is.
Let's play this out and then you can establish your truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see from my bad, I forgot to enter these into evidence, but here's some receipts. They say you deal in less than legal pet trades and give me the ability to enter them into court. That is what these are, right?
This is correct. Sometimes there's exotic pets and there's very exotic pets. I
Right.
deal in the latter.
Yeah, and so as far as, let's say, extremely exotic pets, you would say an uplifted salamander, that's definitely a pet most people wouldn't have, correct?
I would say this is true.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to put this together for us. Now, when you are working with these exotic salamanders, could you tell me who your vet might be?
Well, actually, I would like to use my move. Well, actually, I know more than anyone else. I would like to correct and reveal establishing something true. And then I'll also slip up and reveal a bit of my own case. I deal exclusively with very exotic pets. Anything, I like to keep them very small, bullet size. They require special accommodations. It's very important to me.
What a
Tiny
specific
pets.
way to measure something. It's about the size of a bullet.
Yes. Yes. So salamander's not really not really my gig. But how was I gonna do this? I had an idea.
I'm so excited for whatever this is.
Shit. It just went away. It was very good. I have to look at the web of lies to figure it out.
I like how you called it a web of lies.
Everything on this web is the truth.
However, I did have been known to occasionally help move salamanders from different locations.
Right. So none of that answered my question, so I'm just gonna ask it again. If you had a vet for the salamanders that you sometimes move, as you just said, who would you be using?
I mean, there's some options. Really, I feel like salamanders, they require specific medical attention, and if you want them to be in peak condition, I would take them to an actual doctor.
You're taking a long time. Just tell them who's the vet that you're telling me that you needed to talk to before you got me those pets I've been trying to get from you.
What? Trent just says that out loud, just like, what?
I'm sorry, Trent, was that an objection, or are you just being loud?
No, I'm being pretty quiet, I think, actually. You're the loud one.
Oh, that's my fault.
Let's keep it chill, folks. Let's keep it chill. Yeah. Like I've been trying to adopt those pets from you. You got me a couple of them. I've been trying to get more. You said you needed to get them processed first. It's got to be the vet, right? So who's that vet?
I mean, I'm in between vets right now. I was looking to hire Guy McFluffy, but the deal went sour.
Okay, so yeah, why don't I phrase it this way?
I
Like,
was trying to show him one of my bullet-sized pets, and he was not interested in looking at it.
So looking at the receipt here, it says when you got medical care for some of your more scaly patients, you were in fact seeing Dr. McScaly, right? Dr. Doc McScaly? I am reading this correct, right?
No.
Sarah's just really cut off right now. She put on the Groucho mask and lost everything.
I would like to establish my truth.
Yeah, go
Yes,
for it.
please. Let's do that.
Here's my truth. Selena Amphibio was a secret agent for the raccoon side.
Oh my god! Jeez,
Oh my God.
Louise.
I'm defending a snake.
Gas.
I mean, they're a salamander, but they're a snake too.
Oh my god.
You know, I understand what you're trying to insinuate, but and then I want to go ahead and use I'm trying to think.
Got to be tactical with your moves, right?
Yeah, I gotta figure out which one like actually gets what I want.
What do you want?
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
the,
everyone's
what's
at
the
eight.
angle?
So yeah, so I want to use my secrets or your secrets.
All right.
Your key can implicate someone involved, whether or not they've been brought up yet. When you use this move, you reveal your key and tie it to another character in some way. I mean, my key's kind of already out there. It deals in less than legal pet trades.
Right.
And Roberto's just gonna look at the judge and go, "You really are going to let this happen after I, give you bullet-sized pets? This is how, in your own courtroom, you're going to let my character be assassinated by this person who clearly has a vendetta against me. You're not going to, I don't know.
Now, Your Honor, I wouldn't
or
call this a
abstain or-
vendetta. I would
I
say
mean,
this is
You've been
more like a revenge plot line.
You've been getting me them bullety ones and them the ones that we talked about them so many times I can never remember how to pronounce it. What it's Salamander, Slamazel. What is it again? How do you call them?
Echidnas.
What?
They're very small echidnas.
What?
Was that echidna you said?
A very small echidna?
A bullet-sized echidna?
A bullet-sized echidna?
You're saying echidna, right? You'd think after years of marriage I would understand what you're saying, but I guess we
No,
were
you
married
never-
years of dating. Yeah, because you left me.
It's true. I had a larger calling.
So I've set myself up for it. Is the person we're implicating the judge?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. That's great. I'm just 100% down with that.
It's been foreshadowed for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been trying to steer away from it so hard.
I know. So
we're bringing that show home.
like, how does deliberation work? Is it like us actually
The judge
theorizing,
will
or do I go deliberate and then make a decision?
The way that deliberation works. So, do we want to move on to that phase with this like last
Yeah,
epiphany?
I'm happy to leave it with that epiphany. If
Cool.
Nevin, I know you would have an opportunity to cross-examine, so I don't want to.
I have no questions. Like,
Cool.
here's the thing that's kind of funny is we all ended up defending McScaly.
I was trying so hard to implicate him at the last second.
But yeah, I don't think that Trent has any questions. I think the thing that just happened has Trent very much just like, I'm fucking happy with this. I got lucky. So deliberation. The final phase of play, deliberation, involves a mix of in and out of character play with changes determined by how many epiphany clocks were filled. So the first thing that we do is everyone who filled their epiphany clock reveals one more truth about everything. And this is just an out of character established. This is an additional detail. If we had any unfilled clocks, those players would get to then take a truth and reveal how it was a lie. But we don't have any unfilled clocks. We did great. So we all just get to establish an additional truth.
Great. Let me start.
Now
Please.
keep in mind, the truth should not be this person did the thing.
Yeah.
Say more about that.
Don't say the judge did it.
Great. Okay, cool. I don't know if the thing I want to do includes it or not. So
Well, what are you wanting?
narratively, here's what I want to do. You know what? I'm going to deliberate. I'm not even going to go anywhere. You know what? My favorite way to deliberate is just while I'm feeding my pets. Hold on just 1 second. And I hover up a little bit higher, and the terrarium opens up behind me, just filled with salamanders and miniature echidnas, and I start dropping Klondike bars inside of them.
Jeez Louise. Okay, so the truth revealed here is that I think the way to
You
word
own
this
a number of echidnas and salamanders. And
Very small echidnas.
Very small
They require
echidnas and
very tiny
salamanders.
doors.
you own a number of salamanders, probably kidnapped, and bullet-sized echidnas. Boom, there we go. That's how you establish that without saying one of them is Selena.
I know exactly what I want to do here.
Do it. Do it
So
up.
the truth I would like to reveal. I assume this is like court kept happening and we discovered more things. Is that the sort of vibe here?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
That's basically how we do it. Like hand waving all that stuff and saying like, "Oh, these
Yeah.
things are true."
Cool. I think
This
In
is
that-
kind of like the when somebody gets up, whoever wins in the court case gets up and reveals all the facts that weren't really explicitly clear in this kind of
Exactly.
rolling
Mhm.
dialogue.
Yeah.
But we do it communally instead.
Mhm.
cool. In that case, the truth I would like to reveal is that while questioning Dr. Doc, finally, after 30 fucking witnesses, we finally get to him.
Go
and
go
we-
Belters!
we do in fact discover that Dr. Doc McScaly and the judge, not only do they root for the same space hockey team, but Dr. Doc McScaly is in fact the judge's salamander doctor.
hmm
Perfect. Love it. Love to see it. Now he's framed by sticky notes.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
Okay, anybody who doesn't know, we don't know who this person is, but when we Googled sexy salamanders, this person apparently
They came up.
does all ages friendly, very clearly, all ages friendly
Salamander erotica.
sexy frog and salamander literature. I don't know.
We didn't look into what it was.
Yeah, we didn't click anything.
I'm
but-
going to. Hold,
So we
please.
don't know how true any of this is.
Hey, dude, if you're watching this, we're sorry.
And
If
we're
you're-
not like
Hey.
we love like you have helped us create a cinematic universe.
Hey, if you're watching this, remember to go back Justicar at bytes.rip/Justicar.
And if you are destitute because you're frog and salamander, look, I don't say this is a bad word, smut, it hasn't sold as well as you would want, as you would like. I will buy you a copy if you were watching this later. I will back it an extra copy. Just you get it, no questions asked. But if you can, go back.
$10 American to you for sexy salamander smut.
I love that you always say $10. The number doesn't fluctuate.
there's a-
Any service,
it's a
any
running
service,
joke.
Sarah selling
It's
is
an
$10.
ongoing bit.
From
Oh,
another
really?
stream. Yeah.
Okay. I love to not be in on jokes.
Yeah, so is none of the
But you're
audience.
in on
Fine.
it now is the thing. It's happened around you. You're in on it now.
Oh, great.
Everything
You're in the
everything's
center
just
of
$10.
it. You might not be in on it.
I am
Sunday, still $10.
I know what my truth is that I'm going to establish.
Okay.
Selena's worst movie was a romance about love on the opposite sides of the big fight.
Mhm.
But she starred in a movie about a salamander and a raccoon being in love during the big fight, which, as we know, is still ongoing.
Can I read you a quote from the Sexy Salamander Man real fast? Because I am reading the article
Yes.
Oh my god.
that photo came out of. And just so it's among several topics, I'll talk about how amphibian metamorphosis is an excellent way to study pregnancy, how observing salamander tongues helps us think about ballistic weapons, and how salamander sex provides deep insights into human mating behavior.
I'm highly
That's all.
supportive.
I'm
Yeah.
a little upset by how related to this case that is.
Really?
Like this,
It's really
this,
good.
Any amount of being related would be too much, but there were multiple things there that
This-
were
that mattered for this case.
yeah.
This human's
that's what-
knowledge permeated through the image of just his face.
I
Has
had to read this
entered
sentence
into the game.
a number of times because I was like, this cannot be what this man is really talking about, but it was.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, more power to him.
Sarah,
Sexy salamanders.
one more truth, please.
I would like my truth to be the reason it was Selena's worst movie is because every bit of it was true.
It was a documentary.
It was a documentary. Selena was had an illicit affair with Doc McScaly in order to get information back to the Raccoon Resistance. Her point of contact was Roberto because they were the ones that were in fact in love. And that's it was
Oh
just
my
it was just
God.
an elaborate spy game gone awry.
What- I just want to say, for the listener at home, the thing that ended up happening here is the defense and prosecution somehow ended up on the same team.
That is 100% what happened.
And everybody else is implicated in this massive web of fraud and
Of
conspiracy.
espionage.
It's so good. Just zoom out on this and look at it real quick.
It's beautiful.
That's
Well,
amazing.
what do we do from
And it's
here,
all
Nevyn?
based around a rebellion in a bookstore, illegal pet trade, film stars, and suppliers of beef.
And I don't know where we're at mechanically.
We're literally
We're
about
about to
to
find out.
end.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell you my two tilts, and that 100% prove that the judge is just a patsy in all this. His access has been used to just help cross lines and navigate the system.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in just 1 second.
Perfect.
So now that we have established our final truths, if anyone, like I said, had unfilled clocks, we would go back and make some lies. But instead, we just get to reference this list or a table, if you will, and the number of epiphanies that we have filled dictates what kind of an ending that we get. And they range from so much information was missed, so many opportunities for the truth stayed hidden, that whoever committed the crime goes free. That's if we only have one clock filled, but we have all four. So not only was the deep conspiracy behind everything revealed, but enough truth was uncovered to put the person truly behind it all behind bars. We get the good ending. What do we think the good ending is?
So I will throw something out there, and you all can argue with me on this if you would like. But I think what we discovered here is that literally the people responsible for this include the judge, Selena Amphibio, Doc McScaly, Doc McFluffy, Fran Guy, and Roberto. And a bunch of feral raccoons.
Yeah, I'm 100% fine. With the stipulation that the judge is an accessory after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we
Great.
discover Selena is probably the brains behind.
I think
this
Selena
operation.
is actually the mastermind. Yeah, like
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
absolutely.
No. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was hype for the part 2 of the documentary. She was trying to create like buzz around her newest film because the other one flopped. So she thought if she like disappeared that it would then create this like political intrigue that would finally get her that Oscar.
but it couldn't just
Oh
be
my
her. It
God.
had to be more than that. Otherwise, people would consider that. The press was already saying, "Hey, she's just doing this to ride up like the media hype around it," and so she had to bring in and kidnap other ones.
And
This
it
her
was
Disney Channel breakout, where
Yes.
every time a star stops doing Disney, they have to do something wild to prove that they're not owned by the corporation anymore.
Right.
yes.
And she went from being like a friendly children's actor to a fucking kidnapping kingpin in multiple, like a love triangle here.
I need to change my truth because what it is she did a terrible movie. All the reviews came in that it like didn't feel real and it was like forced and fake. So she decided to make the movie for real and make it a documentary.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She's actually
Selena?
like in some tank of Baja Blast somewhere. It's like the scene in The Big Lebowski. She's like the girl's driving away in the car with her toe cut off.
I've changed your truth to just 43 chess.
43 chess.
Yes.
So the verdict, with all 4 clocks filled, is that Selena organized the whole thing in order to build hype for her next film.
Correct.
So not only does Selena get found in your tank,
She's an extremely little handcuff.
everybody gets put away.
I love it.
Do
Everyone
we-
straight to jail.
pretty much it.
Right to jail.
Do we have any epilogue scenes for any of our characters?
I think in an epilogue scene, we do see Cleta and Trent sort of looking at each other after that. Like, well, I guess I'll see you next time, buddy.
I mean, do you want to go get some like coffee or something? Or
Yeah, we could. I mean, my ex-fiance just got put away for, I don't know, probably life or something. I wasn't really paying attention there. But
all of a sudden,
yeah, I'm
all of a sudden
free for
behind
coffee now.
you, you hear, "It's time to splat." And one of the things we don't, people are like, this is such a chill, this is such a chill courtroom. But the thing is, there's only one sentence in my courtroom, and that's death by acidic gack splatting. And so everyone who is materially convinced for this crime gets killed by gack splat filling the courtroom and pouring all over them. So we look back in, and at first it looks just like Nickelodeon, like Double Dare, like, oh, look at these people covered in this stuff, until their flesh starts melting off their bones.
that's right, because you are judge, jury, and executioner.
I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Very chill, very laid back, very friendly, but my sentences are hefty.
I am now
To say the
standing
least.
on the table to avoid getting the gack on my Louboutins.
It is at that moment that it's revealed that Roberto was in fact just 3 raccoons in a giant trench coat.
As they all
Love
try
to
to
see
run
it.
away from the gack.
Because
But
he is
Perfect.
not
being
fast enough.
human.
Yeah.
So let me say, I would love to say my tilts out loud right now.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
So, in the order received, tilt from Keegan. Secret, as a child, your salamanders were stolen from you, creating a drive for me to want more salamanders and pets as an adult. But the thing is, the tilt that Nevyn sent me was, you have no idea what a salamander is.
Nevyn, as soon as I sent it, I was like, Nevyn's going to send something that is the exact opposite of this, because it would be the good thing to do. As
Sarah
Ben.
sent me tilt, you will do anything for a Klondike bar. Keegan later sent me a tilt, you don't like people getting loud.
Because it was supposed to be a tilt specifically against me, and all I was doing was yelling.
Oh, it's so good.
So literally, that's why I'm like, the judge has no idea what these pets are. Like, he just knows they're the same pets he had when he was little. He loves them. They've got pets also. Pets on pets is fun. And you know, the last thing we see is the judge's hand, like slowly like dropping down into his own acid, as the gavel clangs to the floor. And we could fade to black.
I like the idea that Selena is next to the judge looking over and just goes, I will never financially be able to recover from this, because what we've essentially done is written a much more elaborate Tiger King.
Oh my god, we did.
Coming to Netflix next season.
Salamander Queen.
My gosh.
Move into reaction roll.
Let's do our reaction roll. Reaction roll is a live stream within a live stream. It's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we just played and talk to them about what that game was like to play. Today we are playing in 2 parts Justicar. You can check part 1 over on our YouTube channel, or for the next couple of days over on Twitch, but youtube.com/+1exp, or if you go to ttrpg.link/Justicar, we'll have the playlist with both parts set up on that, or you just check out the campaign launching on Kickstarter at the end of this month. All that said, Nevyn, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and what is Justicar?
Hey there. I'm Nevyn. I use they, he pronouns. I am a queer tabletop role-playing game designer based out of Central Texas. You might know me from some very, very cool and kick-ass games like Gun and Slinger or Kitchen Nightmares. And now, if you've watched this, you know me from Justicar, which is a courtroom drama TTRPG for 4 players where you make a crime web and then just go absolutely gonzo with it as you try to uncover the truth. Not all of them get this ridiculous, but it has a tendency towards the ridiculous. I think that might just be the people I play with. I don't know. But it is launching on Kickstarter March 29th, and you can find it at bytes.rip/Justicar. Yeah, you can find me at nevyn.games.
Awesome. Yeah, you could certainly dramatically pace this. There's nothing in it that requires you to get weird and gonzo, but yeah, we 100% did. I had a blast playing it. I'm super excited to hear what everybody else thought. Let's start with Keegan. Keegan, why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, and what it was like to play Justicar?
Yeah, I'm Keegan. I have they, them pronouns. You can find me online at KeeganEXE or KeeganEXE.com. And you've probably seen me on this channel playing In Extremis Solar Side, our In Extremis AP of the upcoming supplement Solar Side.
When's the next time they would be able to watch that?
Literally tomorrow.
Come on back.
Yes. I have no sense of date or time anymore. Tomorrow at a time that I definitely know.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, this was a blast though. I had like a lot of fun playing this. I want to play it again immediately.
I know you were really looking forward to it.
I really was.
Keegan violated their Sabbath to be here with us today. They usually don't stream on Sundays, but made an exception. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to be the prosecution and to get to live out your fantasy of playing as the nanny.
Yeah, I mean, it has in fact always been my dream to be the nanny. It was like a lot of fun. I think my first round on here was rough personally because I did not read the rules well enough going in. But like after you sort of like get the idea of the pacing and stuff of this game, it is very fun to just be like, oh, we're just essentially speaking what might be truths into. Like I think early on I made a mistake where I was like, okay, so I have to look at these pieces of evidence and figure out how they tie together instead of being like, okay, I'm going to tie these things together.
Exactly.
And as soon as you sort of like break past that, it is just like a real good time. Just a complete blast.
Awesome. Any questions that you have for Nevyn?
I'm sure I will here in a second, but my brain is resetting.
Cool. Let's hear from Sarah. Sarah, tell people who you are, what you do, and what it was like to play Justicar.
Yeah, hi, I am Osarix Franco. You can find me literally every single place at Osarix Franco. I do a variety, I guess it's zero Osarix Franco, or zero, but you'll figure it out. I do a variety of TTRPG content all across the internet. I'm in Solar Side on Monday. You can catch me Tuesday over at TPK Roleplay in Harper's Variants, which I'm very excited for. Then the next time you can see me, it will be Thursday over at Nat 20 in Plains Garden Company. Friday in Patchwork People with Keegan on TPK Roleplay, which is very, very good. I do a bunch of stuff. I have a talk show, Murder and Coffee, where my co-host and I talk about GM things. and that is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And we have the incredible Tony joining us for that conversation. We're going to talk about team brewing, and I'm very excited because I think it'll be a really helpful resource to all of our GMs out there. So come check that out. You're not going to want to miss it. Keep an eye on my Twitter for all the different stuff that I do. It generally is this extra all the time, always. I love this game because of how extra it is. One of the games that I play over at Nat 20 is Smash Cut, again with modified rules, that is just full improv. Like you set up some facts in advance of the game, and then you run through it and you improv it. And what I love about it is it just gets weird, and it's just good fun. This feels very much like that to me, but I love the I say grounded setting of having it in a courtroom and playing out those different aspects. Like it was really Keegan hit the nail on the head with you have to kind of step away from trying to make it make sense and just have fun. Just get out of your own way and play the game because that's how you end up with the Salamander Queen documentary, which is pretty choice. I do have one question to Nevyn.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever consider like adding like additional like classes for more players in, or would you just kind of divvy up the stand if you wanted to play with like more than 4 people?
I've thought a little bit about it, and I think that for me it kind of just works really well with 4 players. Eventually it would be cool to figure out how to do more or less players, because I know that it can be difficult to get a group of 4 people together. But to be completely honest, it's taken me a very long time to get it to work as good as it does.
Mm-hmm.
And that like wholly depends on the 4 players. I don't know if I'll be able to figure it out. Yeah,
totally makes sense, because that was the one thing that I had of like, this is super fun, super great. I want more people to like play with me because I'm like, I want to get all my friends together. And the only other thought I had was like, if the press somehow got involved,
that'd be cool.
Be very good. Like, or at least like a mechanic of that, you know? But I loved this game. It was so much fun. Thank you, Keegan, for inviting me to come play this. 110%. You were correct. It was amazing.
I could see like it's theoretically a jury piece that had like heavier pieces in Deliberation, or I love the idea of like the gallery's reactions doing things,
right?
Potentially also too. Like I would even say maybe not an extra version, but almost like a what is it? I mean, Keegan and I talk a lot about this, and it's something that's very much a thing for Sarah, Keegan, and I, as well as a bunch of conversations we've been having lately about APs. I actually think the like, what is it like to perform this is almost the way of introducing other players. Like, what is it like to engage the chat while streaming? What if you had, because there's a couple of courtroom shows where it's like, or courtroom games like from Bully Pulpit and other people, it's like everybody's the gallery, right? And everybody responds as things happening. But what does that look like? And I don't think it needs to be necessarily a whole nother thing, but more like, yeah, if you've got 8 people, 4 of you are the gallery, and you're kind of taking this in. You can pitch and do ideas and other stuff. But I think it's so clean right now. But I love the idea of being able to say like, chat, you can do this right as we're playing, which we did a lot of, just letting them kick in ideas.
I love that.
But anyways, I think there's other ways you could do it. But yeah, it's so well balanced right now.
Do the classic joint defense thing they love to do on legal TV shows.
Yeah.
With 2 lawyers at odds to each other, who are both defense.
So funny you say that. One of the very first version of this game was it was teams. There were 2 people on prosecution, 2 people on defense, and that's because there were 6 people total that were playing it because I made it for like a friends thing, and we needed everybody to be involved.
Yeah, but anyways, I love the idea of like, I think there's a lot of ways you could flex some meta roles on top of this and give people in the room light input without making them the mains, which is also a fun way to introduce people who are like, I don't know how to role play into role play, to being like, all you have to do is this. Here's the thing you can do. You're gonna kind of observe the rest of us doing it also too, because we have a lot of those people who show up for game nights sometimes, and coaxing them in can be hard. But once they can get a little bit of that flavor, then they get hungry for it. And they turn into vampires and they tear everything apart and suck the role playing out of the world. And so
it kind of seems like if you think about it as a LARP, it completely changes the things that you can do, kind of.
Right. And I think for me that was the most interesting part about it. I mentioned it while we were playing, like, and it was interesting even hearing you say, like, yeah, this is the first time this version of it has been fully play tested all the way from beginning to end, which is, hey, but folks, if you're like, that seems weird if it's launching on Kickstarter, play test your games until they're published. Like, don't put your games to bed until you 100% know they're done. Constantly play test new ideas and new things, see what comes out, figure out what you want to keep or not. That's a normal thing, especially with RPGs, but any game should be doing that. But it is interesting discovering the narrative beats that sometimes might trigger a move and sometimes not. And when you play like belonging outside belonging games or other GM-less games, there's lots of times a tension between, am I triggering a move or am I just doing a thing and I don't actually care if it triggers a move? And that's why I loved Keegan being like the immediate objection of like, hey, like you objected and then like Keegan having the argument piece of like, hey, this goes to this actually. Is a normal thing that happens in courtrooms, and even though there's not a move for it, is if you're all playing together, like it 100% was fun as the judge to hear those things and be able to say, to take them into account in consideration to decide how is this affecting me, even though only one of you is going to trigger that move mechanically, there's nothing else built for it. Seeing that was great. And then at the end, when we're all filled up, we're still triggering moves a lot of the time, even though it's not doing anything for us, right? And I think that's the sign of a well-written move, is the desire to use it even when it does nothing for you, right? So I think, Nevyn, like, super kudos on that. Were you going to say something about that?
No, I'm just
you lean forward as if you were like,
no, I'm stretching.
No, that's fine. But I think that is kind of my question. Like, what are some of the narrative beats, not just in this play, but as you've been playing through, that went from being like, oh, we want to do that more, or oh, here's a thing we want to try out, that eventually became a move that wasn't originally? Does that make sense?
Everything that's in there.
Okay.
In early iterations of this game, they were written a little differently, but like because I was basically dissecting a whole genre, I was like presenting a deconstructed version of a genre. I looked at the things that happen in that media. So like, people object, people overrule, people sustain, people have emotional outbursts, people do this, that, the other, and I just looked at everything and I made some version of it. A few things that came through after the fact, epiphanies were something that was kind of happening narratively that I gave a mechanical, like very strict mechanical function. And as a added consequence or benefit to that, it really ended up like helping push the play forward in some ways too. That's probably the big one. The rest of it was kind of there from the start and just got like fine-tuned through playtesting.
Here's a question. This came up earlier in the chat when I was saying this feels like a good game for forever GMs, which I think is like very common with game designers, especially. Makes this a good place for it. But I know this game, you've described this game as like 2 GMs, 2 players. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I'm actually really happy that I was able to come up with that way to put it. The game really is like GM-less. There's no one GM role. Everybody, like, as you can see, if you just watch us play this, like, the game, everyone involved has pretty much equal say on a lot of things. But because of how the judge and the stand roles function, they kind of have a different kind of power that is very much like pieces of what a game master does. So the judge can like tell people yes or no, and can try to like guide people with hints and stuff like that. That's a very game mastery thing. And then the stand plays a bunch of characters that all have direct access to tell the truth or lie. And that's playing dozens of NPCs like a game master does. So it's two GMs in that the judge and the stand both take up some of what a GM does. And it's two players in that the prosecution and the defense are trying to figure things out as people in this play space.
Yeah.
So what's really funny with this, just as a sort of aside, is I assumed when you wrote two GMs, two players, it felt to me like the defense and prosecution were the DM, and the
It
other
kinda
two were the
can.
players. Yeah, because like defense and prosecution do so much, like essentially like asking questions to bring facts into focus and stuff like that. But I was like, oh yeah, they're sort of like leading the narrative, and the other people are responding, so they're sort of characters in that way. Where
And
it's just interesting that like the angle you look at it from here.
it's a very true, like, excellent, like, hey, we didn't say there's no GM in this. It's just like everybody can do everything, right? Which some GMless games do, and there's ways that as a group you make decisions. It really dissected. Here's the things GMs do. Here's the things players do. We're going to equitably spread all those pieces out, and you're going to get this. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. And then there are ways that everybody can kind of break and access those things too. But it kept very good control, where I knew what I was doing very clearly and very easily. I only had to make 2 or 3 choices at any given time, which I think is, again, just it's a great way to enter into this. And again, the best mystery games are the ones where there's no planned solution. Like, it's why Brindlewood and The Between and so many other games right now that use the theorized move that those created are my favorites. But like this, and then we played the Slow Knife, which I talked about earlier, which is Jack's new game. Like, not knowing the resolution and just saying we're figuring this all out together is the best part of a mystery game. And so
I did have one more question if we have a few seconds still. I know when we were running this, you had a mention of if you could have a version of this game that was just the conspiracy board and you thought you could get away with it, you would. I do think it's like interesting as its own, and it very much feels like 2 individual games that are like connected, just because the 2 like phases of play here are so different. Could you imagine a faster version of this game where the conspiracy board like already exists?
Yeah.
like a
I've
playbook
thought about
type thing.
I've even thought about making like some quick starts in that vein, but every time I think about it and I like sit down to do it, for me the thing that makes this game work, the thing that to toot my own horn a little bit here, the thing that's magic about this game is making that board and then using it as a playground.
Yeah.
I feel like the game would not be as charming and interesting and fun if somebody gave you the mystery.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And
plus as I'm sure plenty of people looking at this experienced, looking at one of these is kind of difficult if you don't know what's going on already.
Yeah.
No,
and I think that's great. And if you want to experience that magic on March 29th, you should go ahead and back this game day one. Go ahead and knock it out, get it out of the way so you don't have to think about it and obsess about it all through the rest of the next month. You can do that. Best way to stay up to date on that is going to bytes.rip /Justicar, which is right down below my face right now. It's also linked descriptions now or later. If you just joined us for the second part, want to catch the first part, it's a totally separate video over on our YouTube channel. Head over there to check it out. A couple of great things we have coming up. You've already heard us mention it. Is In Extremis Solar Side, which is our 3-part actual play here on Plus One EXE of Keegan's In Extremis game. Sarah and I are both players, along with a couple of other amazing folks, and we just got a ship. We're going to blast off into space tomorrow night, do lots of pew-pews, because Keegan's got all the space rules 100% figured out. Lots of ship combat. Come back tomorrow night, check that out. We don't have any streams besides that next week that are planned, because I'm going to be out of town and traveling, and we have very light schedule for the last part of the month because I need a break. I'm doing 8 straight days of streaming with at least 1 stream a day this week. Go check all that stuff out over on youtube.com /+1EXP. The other great thing we'd love to have you check out is the Together We Jam. This are an OSR or Sword Dream inspired RPG jam over on itch that is using our house OSR system together we go to create content for Down We Go, Through the Void, DungeonDelvers.tv, or your own bespoke standalone games. There's 11 submissions on that already and a lot more coming. Go check that out over at ttrpg.link/TWJam. But until next time, we're just going to wave at the screen until I take us offline. Thanks, everybody, for coming to play. Thanks, Nevyn, for running for us. Everybody go back the game. Thank you, Sarah and Keegan, for playing. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Keegan, you want to hit any buttons or take us out with some music?
No, I already closed the thing.
Okay.
Gosh
Bum,
dang
bum,
it,
bum, bum,
Keegan.
bum,
I'm
bum,
sorry.
bum.
It's okay.